know. Huh?
Dadgummit.
That was your good to go.
Howdy, everybody. Here we are yet again with another episode of the Dadgummit podcast featuring Alec and Brandon. And today we have a new special guest with us, Zachary. Zach Attack himself.
Yeah, Zach the Thumbtack.
Zach the Thumbtack.
Zach the Thumbtack.
He loves embroidering.
Excellent.
Yeah, no.
We'll get to the embroidering later.
Uh,
A good
Well.
a good art and craft.
Yeah. I love good art and craft.
Single.
Where did my
Not plural.
notes go? Oh, there they are.
If
Okay.
you do plural arts and crafts, I mean, who are you making them for? Not you.
and we are drinking alcoholic lemonade.
Yeah.
And it's delicious.
It's delicious.
That's right.
It is. Yeah.
It's good.
Excellent.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
It's a Gin Fizz.
I've never had one.
Is it?
It's great. It's excellent. And it's foamy.
You darn skippy, it's foamy. Do you know how hard I shooketh?
So, Zach,
Zach,
why don't you tell us about yourself?
tell you
Where
about
do you
me.
hail from?
I
Why
hail
don't you tell us about yourself?
from the great state of Florida,
Oh,
which is
that is not what I was expecting you to say.
What were you expecting?
My mind jumped to Iowa.
Iowa. No, I'm not from Iowa. I've never been to Iowa, but I would like to go there.
Neither have I. It's a made-up state.
Yeah, I hear that's where the baseball play. Thank you.
It's going to aim it towards your mouth. a little
Field
more.
of Dreams is in Iowa, though.
The movie? The movie Field of Dreams?
Yes.
I've never seen it.
How did you know it was a movie?
I can know the title of a movie without ever seeing it.
You need to watch that movie.
You- He's never seen The Brave
X.
Little Toaster.
That
Have
is nowhere near as good as Field of Dreams.
So you
It's
have
the-
seen it?
It's the precursor
Zach?
to Toy Story.
Yeah. I've seen both movies, and I'll tell you right now, you're missing out.
You ever seen The Brave Little Toaster?
I've never seen either.
I've watched both within the past 2 years, so it's fresh.
What do you
I
mean?
know.
Hold on. What do you mean
What?
both?
The Brave Little Toaster,
Wow.
Field of Dreams.
Oh, I thought you meant both Brave Little Toasters because it's a trilogy.
No, it's not. Is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh. I
Brave
didn't
Little
know that.
Toaster. Brave Little Toaster goes to Mars. Brave Little Toaster to the rescue.
And it's the same maker that made the Toy Stories, right?
It's so the Brave Little Toaster was the precursor idea to Toy Story because this is an incredible story. I have to tell it.
Okay, if you
Why-
know
why-
Brave
why-
Little
no,
Toaster
why don't
expert,
we-
I have a
It
question
is.
for you, Brave Little Toaster
Excellent.
expert.
I love a
Why?
good question.
Yeah, why in that movie did the guy that played the air conditioning,
Uh huh.
who was Phil Hartman, insist on doing
Right.
a Jack Nicholson impression as
What?
an air conditioner? Yeah, watch the movie.
What do you mean?
Phil Hartman is impersonating Jack Nicholson as an air conditioner. It's the
I could see that.
strangest thing.
that was also scary because he died. Spoiler alert. I mean, well, I
It's
mean,
like
he
the first
didn't
5 minutes of the movie.
he didn't die for long. They rebuilt him. They have the technology.
So I'm from Central Florida, where segue air conditionings are necessary,
Excellent.
And I-
Humidity. I
yeah.
bet.
and I grew up without one.
Gators or
Oh.
crocodiles?
Ooh, yeah. Gators.
Florida.
Did you say gators are crocodiles? I'm not dignifying that.
Yes. Gators or crocodiles.
Oh, or
Yeah. I didn't
Oh,
wish-
yeah, I heard the same thing. He heard.
Gators are crocodiles.
Seminoles. What are you talking about?
Seminoles? Isn't that a
No,
tribe?
It's
The Seminoles?
They're both football teams. So I'm told.
What?
Oh.
You guys both seem clueless right now, which is
I'm lost.
very strange.
Oh, I am.
The University of Florida's mascot is the Gators.
Oh, yeah.
I
Okay.
read it.
Yeah.
Florida State University's mascot is the Seminoles.
Oh, okay.
What is a Seminole?
I don't know
A
why.
Seminole?
Yeah, isn't that
It's like a
isn't that an Indian?
yeah. It's also a word for like I don't know what the word Seminole means, but people use it like this is the Seminole whatever, and then they'll talk about something important.
We'll look that up.
Oh, can I make a rule?
Absolutely.
No Googling things.
No
oh,
Googling?
gosh.
No, it's gonna be so much better.
Oh no,
Oh,
we're never gonna
no.
have any
We just-
closure.
Yeah, we have to fight about it and then just shrug our
We're
shoulders.
just gonna look
It's gonna
like
be great.
idiots.
We're gonna say such things, and people are gonna be like, "Man, these guys are just discredited."
These are
Yeah, 'cause
Dumb.
they're
Fake-
gonna look it up. We're
fake
gonna say
news.
something outlandish. He's
Yeah.
gonna say something outlandish.
Hey,
They're gonna look it up, and
Careful, Buckaroo.
Mhm,
then we're gonna have no way of backing
they've already
ourselves
fact
up.
checked our brave little toaster.
Don't tempt me.
Yeah, Brave Little Toaster is not actually a trilogy. It's like
Oh, it's a trilogy, and it's
it's
an
like 5 of them.
no. There's only 3. The company went under on the third one, or after
Oh,
the third one.
okay.
Yeah.
Went under.
That's why you can't find the first one on any streaming service. You have to pirate it on YouTube.
What?
Yeah, you have to have an original VHS copy, or you have to pirate it off of YouTube.
You can
It's
just
terrible.
watch it on YouTube?
You can watch it on YouTube.
Okay.
Shout out to that guy that uploaded it. Because
Thank you. I'm sure he's watching now.
oh yeah, I visit his YouTube channel constantly just to watch Brave Little Toaster.
That's
Such a
how I
beautiful
watched it in
movie.
the past 2 years, like I said.
Yeah,
I
really?
mean, yeah.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We might have watched
okay. So, I was like, where did he get it?
Where did he get it? I had the VHS growing up. Original OG. You
I think
can't-
all 3 of us here have a VHS at some point. Have had.
You can watch the sequels on Disney Plus though. Not a sponsor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but not the original,
All right.
which is sad because that's the best one by
Yes.
far. Because how does a ceiling fan get to Mars anyway? Doesn't make any sense.
So Florida's humidity is a problem.
Yeah, so
Just
says
gonna say
you.
it. I don't know. I don't know how people.
Where are you
in
from?
Florida
Reading,
do
Pennsylvania?
it. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Is it by
The
Reading?
Reading Railroad.
Just
Reading Railroad.
just covered in chocolate on summer nights.
Pennsylvania's more than Hershey now.
No, it's not.
And also,
Okay,
Hershey
and
chocolate sucks.
Amish Hershey.
Will never be a sponsor.
That's not
sucks.
true. I will beat him out if I get a Hershey sponsorship. if that's
Hershey
all- what it
chocolate is
takes.
like the lowest form of chocolate. It's just
Dude,
milk. It's just
you
creamy milk.
You're angering like half our audience.
Cacao.
What?
I like dark
What are
chocolate.
we,
I like
Colombian
a dark,
now?
thick chocolate.
You ever had like 100% chocolate?
Yeah, it is
That stuff
very
sucks.
bitter. It sucks.
I was like, man, I'm sophisticated enough for this, and I ate it, and I'm like, no, I'm not.
No. The highest that's like enjoyable, I'd say, is like, I don't know,
80%?
70, 80.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a threshold there.
Isn't
Yeah.
it neat that the Egyptians worshipped it, basically? You
What?
can't look it up.
They worshipped chocolate.
I really
They
need
were-
to look this up.
That sounds like a lie.
They worshipped it, basically. You can't stop.
That sounds like modern smart
I
people
can-
making up stupid
I can
stuff.
re-
Can I swear on this
rebut.
podcast?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, two of our last guests.
good.
Oh yeah, when I watched the full episodes, I saw them swearing.
Two of our last guests have potty mouths.
Mm,
Dang.
I don't.
Shout out.
Somewhere in the middle. But yeah,
Well, now
you're
he's gonna-
saying they worship chocolate. That's
They
more
worship
important.
chocolate. Yeah.
They didn't worship chocolate.
Like cats, they worship chocolate.
Are we just gonna throw out outlandish things because
It's-
we're not able to Google
What's
stuff now?
What's
Yeah, I'm
funny
not
is
Googling
I will
anything.
only say things on this episode that I know sound outlandish, but I can back up with facts.
No. That's
The
like,
Egyptians worship chocolate
Facts
just
in
like
your
they did
freaking-
cats.
Facts in your head alone.
they might have worshipped cats. I don't think it was chocolate.
People are gonna look up my facts and they're gonna say, you know what? Alex has a lot of stupid things sometimes whenever he's not being, fact checked. But he's right.
I got fact checked the other day by a man that I work with, who,
Excellent.
yeah, he is excellent.
Oh, it's a he.
Yeah.
Oh.
I said that the only 2 states that have never reached temperatures of 100 degrees was Alaska and Hawaii, because I was told that, and I promptly believed it and never verified it once.
Hawaii?
Yes, Alaska and Hawaii. I was told were the 2 states that never reach 100-degree temperatures. Spoiler alert: the fact check disproved me.
I
And I was
believe
I
Alaska.
You can believe Alaska?
I would
could believe
believe
Alaska, yeah.
too. But
Well,
I
not
would also
Hawaii.
believe Maine. I don't think Maine would ever get to like 100.
No, they've all been to 100 degrees.
Yeah,
Every single state?
Yeah, that-
Every
that's pretty
state, yeah.
reasonable.
It's nice to let everybody into the 100-degree club. So we
Is
didn't
it?
we didn't disbar anybody from that. Yeah.
I hate triple digit temperatures.
Go to Florida.
I don't even think I let my water get that hot. North
It's
Carolina humidity? Bad.
it's too much.
Swampy.
Like we've had like we would be on vacation somewhere, me and my wife, and someone will walk or they like ask us if they hear our accent. They'll be like, "Oh, where are you from?" Like we'll be in the South, and we'll be like, "Oh, we're from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania." And they're like, "Oh, that sounds miserable." I'm like, thanks.
Yeah.
Like, And we're like in Florida, and we're like, this is miserable to
No,
us.
it gets
Screw that.
Well, go back.
Yeah,
if you
Pittsburgh
like
is
it.
miserable.
Go back if you do like it.
It's just like the way I describe it. I've heard other people describe it, so it's not original. But like you walk outside and you just got like slapped by a wet sheet.
Excellent.
That's what it feels like. You're just like instantly like,
Yeah, telling me
covered
when I
in
was a
warm
child, when I
water.
was a kid, telling me that I wouldn't sweat was like telling me my fingernails would stop growing.
yeah,
Like,
no,
didn't happen.
like I don't like sweating, and it's unavoidable here and everywhere south of here.
I also don't like
You
it,
just
but I
pour
mean,
sweat.
you get used to it.
It's not.
By
Fun.
the way, my imagination of Pittsburgh, I don't know. It's probably not the same for the Floridians who are, I guess, don't like the cold. But whenever I think of Pittsburgh, which I have been
I think of
basically
gray.
there,
It's just a gray.
No, you
place.
haven't.
yeah, gray.
It's
I
just,
think
it's just a
I
gray
think-
place. With
I
like,
think a concrete jungle full of smog
yeah.
and like a bunch of coughing Pennsylvanians just like
Yeah.
yelling.
Maybe
You
in
can
the
what-
19 freaking 10s and 20s.
I
and, like,
so
the
steel-
smog.
And steel bridges and
when I went to
cars that
Albany, New
sputter.
York, that was about what it looked like. Like I looked like I could watch, like wipe 200 years of just industrial
Sadness.
revolution soot off of all the buildings.
All the child labor, that blood, sweat, and
the
tears that
textile mills.
go into the building of the steel in
This
Pittsburgh.
thing's empty. It's broken.
Oh my
Oh
god!
my gosh, he's already through it. No, like
I've got a regular lemon juice.
My father was a drinker.
Pittsburgh is
mother
a
was a
beautiful
clown.
city. It's a beautiful city.
Yeah, maybe if you're asleep.
No, when you're awake too. Yeah. Wait.
To be
wait,
fair,
no,
we-
neither
to
of
be
you would
fair,
have been in
No, I
Pittsburgh.
haven't been to Pittsburgh. I've been to Philadelphia that one time.
No, Philadelphia is not representational of Pennsylvania.
Philadelphia was surprisingly bright. Pittsburgh, I imagined to be drab, but Philadelphia had
Much-
that.
Pittsburgh is 10 times better than Philadelphia.
Sure.
Not sorry.
They had a lot of neon in Philadelphia that I didn't mind.
Pittsburgh is much more beautiful, clean,
It felt like I was gonna get
friendly.
attacked at any time.
You know, Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love.
Sure.
It's
I've
not.
been
It's
there.
like the city of brotherly hate.
We we almost got into
Sucks.
a fight.
Have you heard
in
Bill Burr's
Philadelphia.
rant about Philadelphia?
I
It's on
think I
YouTube.
know
Oh,
what
it's
you're
so
talking
funny.
about.
I haven't
Maybe a couple months
Like,
ago.
it was insane. Yeah.
I think wait, I think I saw a video of him talking about Boston too. Maybe it was Philadelphia. Bill Burr is hilarious. I like Bill Burr.
Have you seen his new movie?
Oh, yeah, Bill
Old
Burr.
Dads on Netflix. Not
Yeah.
sponsored.
I've seen clips of it
Excellent. I like it
on
when a guest says that.
iFunny, not a sponsor.
It's worth a watch, but I will say
But you
that-
could be
I guess I won't
iFunny.
say.
iFunny
What is-
sponsorship.
iFunny? What does that mean?
Oh,
The web.
you don't know what iFunny
The
is?
website.
No.
The app.
What's a website?
A website.
iFunny is basically like it's just a social media platform that is solely memes. You know what a
for
meme is?
Android users.
I already hate it.
It's just straight up memes. But it's
Only-
like the OG meme place. Like that's
sure.
where like Reddit and iFunny have always been like at war. But like Reddit's more of like you can like post threads and stuff and comment on other people's posts. Like iFunny is just memes. Like it's just memes in the comment section.
Sounds kind of sad.
You should go on iFunny right now.
I recommend.
No.
I mean, it's not Googling. So you could go on iFunny. You show me
No.
all right, show me the funniest. Nah, don't do that.
Show me the funniest Egyptian
that.
worshipping chocolate
You just
meme
want me
can
to show you
find.
the first thing that pops up?
No, because they won't see it.
Excellent.
I can
The-
pull it
the-
up.
the
I'll
good- the good
clip.
people.
I'll post it and then I'll put it on the video.
We
The
almost,
first thing that we look at.
we almost got into a bar fight in Philadelphia.
All right.
Oh, that's a
You
good
have one
point.
shot.
Oh crap!
Convert me.
I can't one shot it. It could be a bad meme right off the bat.
Well, you
I'm
know?
just gonna show you the first one that pops up because that's
You brought your own cigars.
true.
You
to
know,
iFunny.
instead of this iFunny nonsense, I think we should address the elephant in the room,
Oh,
right,
crap,
which is
it's a
why we
video.
are
Yeah.
in the courtyard of the.
I'm gonna put this aside.
Yeah. Why are we outside?
Why are we outside?
It's a beautiful night.
Because Papor didn't want us smoking in the penthouse.
No, we don't. We don't allow smoke inside the mansion. inside the manor.
No.
Yeah, that
Plant-
old money.
Plantation
yeah.
grounds are fine, but not in the manor.
We're out on the plantation.
Well, thank you for shifting everything outside
Of
of
course, yeah.
the Dadgummit Towers.
The
and
servants had a field day.
It took a while to actually get to that fact that we are outside.
We are outside,
outside.
viewers,
This
Brought
is the
to
first
you
first time.
by nature.
and we are outside because your guest smokes like a chimney.
Ooh.
Yes.
But not an electric chimney.
I don't
So,
know, electric chimney.
So cigars.
Yeah,
Let's talk about cigars. Why do you love cigars?
because they make me look fancy. Why?
All right, that's a good one.
the first reason anybody loves cigars.
Much
But
like a
then-
Gin Fizz.
But after about a year
I
of doing
can
that,
see the bag, so it makes sense.
the bag. This was given to me.
Oh.
Family member,
By leather?
No, coworker.
Friend?
No, friend. I guess you could say friend. Yeah.
friend,
Aw,
coworker.
Yeah,
That's
I haven't
nice.
talked to him in many years, but
That's less nice.
What are you doing there?
what am I doing?
Yeah. What's that?
So
He's
you
rubbing it
all right,
out.
so you guys know little to nothing about cigars.
That's
True.
true. I don't know how to rub out a cigar.
I have. All right. This is not supposed to be like a YouTube teaching video.
It's a
but
Q&A.
Whatever. So this
It's a
is
tutorial.
a cigar that I have not yet adulterated. Look at the back. Look at the. You
Yep.
see, it's kind of hard
It's
to
closed
smoke
off.
anything
Look at
through
the
that.
back, not the side,
And
you
then I just-
dingleberry, the back.
Yeah. See that? I just punched a hole
You
in
punched
it,
a hole in
The
it.
back.
and that's how you actually turn the cigar from a
There's a
you
hole.
could say test tube into a
Viewers.
straw. Which
And for my next trick,
Oh my goodness, we're back to straws.
I'll make a hole up here.
what is your opinion on straws?
I love a good
I've
straw.
heard about this.
Straws suck.
Straws are good for the world.
They make you look feminine.
What?
Ooh,
They make you look
that's
feminine.
a base thing to say.
Yeah, it is based, isn't it?
Hey.
So
They make you look feminine,
Women-
and also they're killing the sea turtles. Back to episode 1.
Oh yeah, like a
that's a-
person that is so masculine would care about a sea turtle.
That's a good point.
that's a really,
That's a
really good-
based point.
Yeah.
Screw the sea
It's
turtles.
really based.
Also, I was taught by many sources using straws helps you get drunk faster. And you can't prove me wrong.
Well, you don't want to get drunk faster.
Yeah, that's right. You want to
Some of us
slowly
Unpopular.
enjoy the drink.
Unpopular opinion. I love drinking. Hate getting drunk.
Oh golly.
Mm.
He's the opposite.
What? I think you're the opposite.
I love a good cocktail.
I think all these episodes you have had like 3-to-1 drinks to us on average.
Yeah, but who stays drunk longer? Not me.
Not me.
Uh-huh, sure.
You know what I have to do after this?
You're a lightweight. you gotta make sure. I think all of our guests have by and large.
Oh, shoot, the mic's on fire.
Is it really?
No,
No.
I'm just kidding.
I was like,
Oh gosh.
I didn't
re-
know what would happen.
It really
gotta-
gives it the
I
effect.
gotta
think
pay
the
for this.
mic will light on fire. Yeah. If this bothers you in any way, like if you're like, just let me know. And I'll
No,
put it
it smells good. I'll admit it does
out.
smell
Not you,
good.
Him. You're downwind.
Yeah, we don't care about you. We don't care about that end.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
Incredible. It's not like I'm providing the real estate for this.
Cigars are like whiskey.
It's the old money that's providing it.
So, Daddy cares.
The old money in your family.
Grandpappy.
By the
and
way,
Grandmammy cared.
hair and makeup was like, yeah, they do a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
job in there. Colette was a very nice young lady.
Colette, wonderful woman.
That's the
I've known her
third
since
time.
I was a small babe.
That's the third time Colette's been here. The other girl, I can't remember her name, but she's new. But usually we
Ivana.
grab.
Ivana.
Usually we grab for the
She's from
makeup department. We
overseas.
grab people from
Well, I've noticed
William.
that. I noticed that all
what
of
is
your
it, William
employees
and
are
Mary?
from overseas.
Well, yeah.
From
why would I hire, non-foreigners?
You're barely paying them. You're freaking stingy
They're
with
getting
that.
whoa. They're getting
that
paid
money.
plenty.
I
They-
was talking.
They
to,
keep showing up, don't
I
they?
was talking to head of security when I first showed up. First of all, head of security is very, very thorough.
Excellent.
He's excellent.
He's
And,
paid to be.
Yeah.
He's got good hands. Good
Yeah.
hands.
uh,
I've never experienced it, of course.
I'm not as familiar with French names, but Blanc, I think his name was.
Blanc.
Yep.
He said. Actually, he told me not to say what he said, so I'm not going to say it.
Excellent.
Excellent.
I won't push further, but I will find
Yeah.
out later.
I can barely understand what Blanc says half the time.
Well, he's actually my
Yeah.
cousin, kind of.
Captain.
Oh.
He Captain Blanc is what he insisted that I call him.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Our security department and our makeup department are great. Shout out to them.
You darn skippy they are. They get paid well.
Captain Blanc. Good job.
Blanc.
I feel very secure in the gardens.
I don't even know if he watches any of our episodes.
He doesn't. He can't. You know.
That guy does
can't
not
hear it.
own a cell phone. Are you kidding?
We don't have subtitles on our videos into other languages. He can't speak English yet that well.
Oh man. Well, send him on a vacation to New Orleans. Maybe he'll appreciate
Yeah,
it.
you know, feel a little bit better. You know, send him to Haiti.
Send them to Argentina. Their
They speak
dollar
Fr-
will
they
go
speak French
very
in
far.
Argentina.
They speak,
No.
they speak French in Haiti. That's why I want to send him there. It's, also,
No,
it's cheaper in Haiti.
it is.
You could-
Yeah, sure. It's cheaper in Argentina.
Is it?
Very.
I wouldn't know.
Their
I have a lighter right here. You want to light it with gas
their inflation rate is very high right now. Very.
in Argentina?
Triple digits high.
Are they using money for wallpaper?
No, I hope not. They're experiencing triple digit inflation.
That's a reference to World War II for any history buffs.
You know how they want to stimulate
Germany.
the economy with
Huh?
American dollars. They want to allow American dollars into currency.
What are they going to do with an American dollar? Burn it?
No, it's supposed to stimulate the market.
How?
Anyway, Florida.
What?
You grew up in Florida.
Yes, I am a fifth generation Floridian. No.
Flow right in.
It's that old money. It's that old money in it.
Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, the
Been there a
orchards.
long time. Like I said, I grew up in
Or groves.
a family that is very Luddite, so we didn't have a lot of technology and that kind of.
They're what?
What the heck is a Luddite?
A Luddite, somebody who doesn't like technology.
Oh,
Luddite.
like an Amish.
A Luddite, like an Amish. Like yeah, you've talked about them before.
We've talked
Oh
about
yeah,
Amish.
we've talked about the Amish.
They come up in every episode somehow,
They don't talk about us though, because you know
Mm-hmm.
unless
they-
they're cheating.
they can't find us.
We call out cheaters all the time at home.
You darn right we do.
Um,
Be careful, Amish. Stick to your guns.
Luddite.
Yeah,
Luddite.
somebody who hates technology. A perfect description of if you were to look it up, you'd see my grandfather and then my father next to him.
Excellent.
No,
Yeah, so-
not really.
Not really. No,
They wouldn't.
If
allow-
you were to
people
look it
that
up, but
look
you-
like them.
they wouldn't
yeah,
take a picture.
you can't verify that because we're not looking things up. But
Excellent.
it kind of rubbed off.
So your father.
Yeah.
It did it.
As I light my
Did-
cigars
did
with
it-
matches.
Did it rub off? Rub off on you?
Yeah. So I
That foot bath blanc got you.
yeah grew up on a farm in Florida. Didn't have
What kind of-
television. Didn't have color television for a while. I got it was black and white TV when I was the ripe old age of 3, and then
What kind of farm?
citrus.
It's Florida.
Yeah,
Oranges
It was-
everywhere.
It was
Hey.
an alligator farm.
There's more than oranges in Florida.
no. So
Name one more thing.
That's it.
One more crop.
Uh,
Just one.
muscadines,
Not you, him.
blackberries, figs,
citrons.
guavas,
Citrons.
Yeah.
citrons.
Get out. Citrons.
you
Nobody
know,
farms
lemons aren't
citrons.
natural.
You can call them citrons. You don't have to call them citrons anymore. Now that you've been.
Is that what they're called? I don't even know.
Yeah,
What that,
citrons.
I don't know what that is.
Lemons
I mean,
are not natural. Lemons are a crossbreed between a citron and something else.
A lime?
All of citrus is a crossbreed.
What?
There is.
I thought
yeah.
citron was natural.
Yes, you're right. Citrons are natural. Yes, but
Score.
yeah,
Google
know,
it.
You know more about citrus than I think most of your viewers and
I don't know
the
why.
guy financing this endeavor.
Yeah.
Excellent. I don't need to know it. It's irrelevant to me. It's not pertinent.
You grew up with cotton. We'll get to that.
I did grow up with cotton.
Do you have cotton nearby?
Not now. It's out of season.
Did
Yeah,
Past
very
tense.
nearby
it's the past participle.
in his yard.
You're wearing it.
Did you grow up on a cotton farm?
Maybe.
No, but I'm sure it was around
Maybe.
you.
No, I grew up on an animal farm.
Why would a family of that level of prestige move to a cotton farm in North Carolina? Is beyond me.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
really farm cotton in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Tobacco.
Well, I mean, they didn't know. They were just probably bought into it like idiots.
Tobacco emu. Hey. How dare you? It's called the White Rush.
White Russian.
My favorite drink.
Oh,
I used to drink a lot of White Russians.
It's a
Really?
good drink.
When I turned 21 and I watched a lot of The Big Lebowski, I was like, well, I might as well start drinking these things. 'cause,
White
like,
Russian is my favorite cocktail,
they're
but
pretty tasty.
I've never seen The Big Lebowski.
You don't need to see it. It's fine.
it's not good.
I mean, everybody else is going to disagree with me, but you don't have
Jeff-
to see any movie.
I've
Jeff
been wanting to
Bridges?
watch it.
You
Jeff
don't
Bridges?
have to see any movie. Like when you file your taxes, you don't have to say that you saw The Big Lebowski. It doesn't matter.
I don't have to,
When
but
I-
should I?
Big Lebowski. It's all right.
Would you rewatch it?
Jeff Bridges.
I owned it and I watched it probably 90 times.
Oh.
In the
So
Yeah.
I should watch it.
You dedicated that many hours of your life,
but
and
then
you
I
wouldn't recommend it.
haven't watched it in many years.
The heck.
I don't know why. It just I guess tastes change. So maybe you should.
I mean, every movie I've
Excellent.
ever seen more than a dozen times, I would highly recommend it. Anybody I talk to, like
Yeah.
Rambo, absolute favorite series of all time.
It's an interesting series because the first movie is markedly different in tone than everything else.
Oh yeah, well, because the first movie was based on a book written by crap, I can't remember his name right now. But the book was written decades ago about it was like a cobbling together of stories from Vietnam veterans, and then he made a character. Which, fun fact for anybody that doesn't know, Rambo, as awesome as he is and as like violent as he's supposed to be, he got the guy that wrote Rambo named him after a species of apple. He just thought the name Rambo Apple sounded cool, so he named a character John Rambo. It's one of my favorite facts. It's awesome. He
You
was
know-
literally walking through a store, saw Rambo Apple, and thought that's an awesome name.
I didn't know. It
I
was
just
based
watched
off
the
of a
movie.
book.
I just watched the movie Darkest Hour last night.
Yeah, the book ends very differently.
Oh,
than the movie.
about Winston Churchill or whatever.
Yeah, and this reminds me of when Churchill's like, "We need a name for our." Winston Churchill says they need a name for their operation to evacuate Dunkirk, and the guy looks at a fan called the Dynamo, and he calls it Operation Dynamo.
Is
I
that
didn't-
true?
What?
Is that
I-
factual?
I just watched. I mean, it's a fact that I saw that a few days ago on the movie, but I don't know.
You can't.
If
fact
the
check 'em.
movie's factual.
Yeah,
You can't
I
fact check 'em
presume
at
it
all.
is.
That's incredible. No.
No, we'll just let it let
Let
it
it
lie.
sit. Let it ride.
Let it lie.
Let it live.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we keep getting off track. Where were we?
Being off track
Florida.
is the
You're-
game.
You're
No,
asking
no,
about
we were talking
Florida.
about you and your farm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
How big
so
was your
You
farm?
in your farm, your orchard, your
How many
grove.
acreage?
I have no idea how big it was initially because they bought it a long
Bless you.
well, they bought the land
Sorry.
a long time ago. But when I
Oh.
lived there, it was 40 acres, which is
A 40-acre
if you're from Iowa, that's like
Yeah.
somebody's yard. But in Florida, where the land is at prime, 40 acres is a decent amount to have and be farming
It's
on.
amazing you brought up Iowa again.
You want me to bring up Field of Dreams and then the Brave Little Toaster and then start this whole podcast over again?
Ideally.
What's your point, Alec?
I love Brave Little Toaster.
Yes, it's
What?
Just
Oh,
wants
we're
to get
talking about
back to
Iowa.
that.
It's such a good movie.
Yeah. So what was it like growing up on a farm?
Also, what's your favorite citrus?
I want a farm.
I like satsumas. What do you like?
The heck is a satsuma?
I like the orange ones.
Yeah, I like a good clementine. Cuties are made for kids.
Mm-hmm. I'm happy that you know that a cutie is a clementine. Most people don't know that. They're like,
I can
do you like
read.
cuties or halos? They're both
Oh,
clementines.
I think a clementine was the first citrus I ever ate as a fruit, and that was like 5 years ago.
Little cutie.
Yeah, little cutie. Little cutie was the first thing I was like, why have I not been eating these? And I haven't had one since.
I stopped at a fruit stand on the way out of Florida when I was leaving, probably like 5 years ago now.
Give yourself a
And
melon.
I bought some citrus that I had never heard of before called a honey tangerine. I was like, oh, I'll eat these. And I started eating it. And I was like, this isn't a Tango Murcot, which doesn't mean anything to you, but
It does not.
like I know what these things are. So
I've
I'm like,
never
this is
eaten a
as
tango meerkat.
meerkat. It was a tango meerkat. So I called my dad, and I'm like, Dad, I just add a tango meerkat on like the Florida Georgia line, not the
Right.
band, but it's a garbage band. But
Whoa.
yeah, I'm calling them out. If you guys are
Oh,
listening,
crap.
Georgia,
yeah.
it stinks.
No, Florida, Georgia.
Huh?
You're talking about the Georgia state?
No, Florida Georgia Line, the band.
You ever heard that band?
Oh,
You know
okay.
the song?
Never mind.
What the?
Band,
I think the whole
windows
state of
down,
Florida
cruise.
smells.
What?
Just
We
has
literally
this
had
stench.
another
The
Floridian
state of
guest,
Florida has a
and you didn't
No,
stench.
tell
not
them.
Florida, Georgia.
Georgia has
You
a
said
stench.
Florida.
I
Did
don't
I?
believe
Yes. I've been to Georgia exactly once.
It's the
MLK
swamps.
Jr.
that. Georgia's lovely.
It's the swamps.
Georgia's on my mind.
Georgia's on my mind.
Anyway.
Oh, it's on my mind.
You called your
Anyways.
dad.
Yeah, I
About
called
your
my dad, and
tango
I was
meerkats?
like, yeah, I just bought some tango mercots, and they're calling them honey tangerines up here. My dad said, yeah, they changed the name of that kind of stuff so Yankees will want it. And he said, are you at the Indian River fruit stand on like 3 miles out of Jacksonville? And I said, yeah. And he said, I sold them those tango mercots. You could have just gotten some before you left. And I'm
Oh,
like, oh my
God.
god.
You guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I got had.
Could have just given your dad the money.
Sell it or buy it wholesale, whatever that thing is called.
I would have just walked outside and picked it. I wouldn't have done any of that.
Hey, easy.
Easy.
What?
Be easy. Be easy. That's his nickname, right?
Be easy.
Brandon's?
Yeah.
Be easy?
Brandon's be easy.
Hey, give me 1 second.
Be random. You son of a bean. There he goes. Holy cow. What in tarnation? That got so straight.
It's just you and me now.
It's just you and me.
Should have we taken a break? Can we go on without this guy?
No,
Was
he's
he-
going to
was-
edit this out.
Was he holding the play button?
Uh,
Now he's like not. And it was just
Oh,
stopped
crap.
recording.
He actually didn't hit stop. He probably should have hit pause.
So what do you want to talk about now that our moderator?
Now that he's
gone?
gone. He left my freaking door open. Close the manor door. Oh, gracious. Thanks, Colette. She's such a dear.
Yeah.
She shuts the door. So good.
Mhm.
So good. That's why I pay her. But not me. You know, the fund. The trust fund.
We've been waiting.
Yeah, just taking your sweet time. How do you want to get into hard-hitting topics that are, sat?
That are sat. What does that mean?
Everything's sad.
Sat.
As
Like
long as
we are all sat down.
As long as we don't associate ourselves with
Meanwhile, you're wearing your four shine
You know
zipper
what?
boots.
Oh yeah. Wait.
It's off
hold
camera.
on. You have zipper boots? No, you don't. Have
He's
zipper
with-
boots. You have the zipper boots.
I got zipper boots.
What a
Four-
child.
four shine. Hey,
Just because somebody tied your shoes for the first 15 years of your life didn't mean you didn't have to learn how to do it afterwards.
technically, it was the first 12.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Just the first 12.
I don't think I learned how to tie my shoes until I was 13.
Yeah. Miss Dubois did it for you for the first 12.
You darn Skippy.
Miss Dubois.
Rest in peace.
So was it like growing up on a farm?
I mean, it was cool. It was, I
Do they still have it? The farm?
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm actually
farms still exist.
yeah, I'm the lemons in your gin fizz. Yeah. That's us.
Wow.
The
It's
half,
amazing.
the half.
Yeah, probably
lemon
not.
It could be
Probably
better, but
between the three. Easy sport.
Growing up on a farm was isolating in certain ways because you're far away. Like I did not have the childhood that I'm sure you had where you could just walk out your door and see people.
What?
well,
You didn't.
when I
wait,
say
so-
like Pittsburgh, I didn't actually grow up in. Like,
You didn't have.
but yes, I did grow up in a neighborhood, so I mean that's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Can you say that one more time? What?
Me?
Yeah.
Walking out your front door and seeing people.
What do you mean?
Like I walked out my front door and I saw farmland. I saw the front of a lake and a bunch of trees.
Oh, there's a lake by you?
Yeah, there was a lake. Yeah. Well, it's
Dang.
Salt-
Florida.
salt or fresh?
Florida has so many lakes
Said
that
old
you wonder
money.
where they put the buildings. The old money. Yeah. I lived in Charleston for a little while, and while I
Oh.
lived there,
I've been there a couple
I would
times.
go. I would go
We've
tour.
all lived there before.
I've been there a
That's
couple
insane. When I
times. Bill
lived in,
Murray lives there.
yeah, so does Darius Rucker.
Darius Trucker.
Bill Murray lives
The
there?
legend. Yes.
But he lives in California
No,
from
Bill-
the movie Zombieland.
No, Bill Murray goes or lives in Charleston because of
Are you
the
kidding?
what's it? The
All right, you don't have to explain it. He's kidding. I saw it in his eye.
What is the name of that?
Glimmer.
What were the name of the dogs that team that he goes to see all the time, like the Devil Dogs or the
The River Dogs.
River Dogs?
Oh,
yeah.
my wife's gonna punch you in the nuts.
I've never heard
What?
the River Dogs. He goes to like watch them play. I've never been. I wanted to just to get a glimpse of Murray.
Why would your wife be upset about that?
She's from there. That's where I met her.
Oh.
And she used to
okay.
go to the river. So that's one of her fondest memories. Is going to the River Dogs as a
And
child
seeing
with her
Bill
daddy.
Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir Father Bill Murray.
No,
Dang it. Dang
So
it.
in
Damn it.
Charleston,
I don't even know what I was talking about. Something happened in Charleston.
Lakes.
Oh yeah.
Lakes.
Charleston. No,
Something.
it has nothing to do with lakes.
Oh,
It has to do with old money.
The
oh
Tango
yeah.
Meerkats.
There's a lot of old money in Charleston.
Yeah, so I went to Charleston. I went
what it
on
was built on.
these house tours and these plantation tours, and they would talk about how like so and so
Yeah.
came from England and they like made their fortune in rice or indigo or whatever. And I'm like, man. And they would say like these people came here in the 1600s, and I'm like, yeah, my family showed up at the same time, and they made their money in nothing. They made their money in nothing for like 400 years of just long.
Yeah, but now
Long
we have
line of
nice
losers.
plantations to go tour.
Yeah, I wish my name was on one of them.
The tea plantation. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what do you mean?
Angel Tree.
No. Your name. What did you say? Sorry.
He would like to have his
Oh,
name.
I
on
wish
the
you
list.
I
would
wish I
like-
had a lot of old money,
Oh.
like you know.
I thought you were
Not the
saying
slavery
oh,
aspect
my
of it.
name
That's
was
not-
on one
you
of
know,
them.
but
Just to be clear,
yeah, just to be clear, I
They
guess
are
I
beautiful.
should specify that we're talking about Charleston, South Carolina.
1700s Charleston.
The plantations.
I really wish
down
my
there
family
are
would have been a
beautiful.
little bit more brutal.
No,
Angel Oak Tree.
Gotten us more
let's change the
money.
subject. That's not what I meant.
Angel Oak Tree, the plantations,
Downtown.
downtown. Like
Oh, yeah, the
Charleston
Angel
was
Tree.
beautiful,
Yeah,
but I
remains
I
to be
wouldn't live
so.
in there. I wouldn't live there forever.
Hmm.
No,
Not my cup of tea.
absolutely not.
It's too
I don't.
hot.
I don't even like the beach really.
I hate being so close to the coast.
Yeah,
Sucks.
I'd rather be up in the hills, up in them there hills.
You can't get away from the coast in Florida.
That's
No,
true. You're-
actually,
you're a
I always
peninsula.
had this idea for a perfect date, in which you would,
in Florida.
yeah.
Is that possible?
Well, that's what my frame of reference was at the time when I was in high school. And I thought, it'd be cool to go on a date where you could like go see the sunrise over the Atlantic Ocean and then spend all day kind of like doing fun stuff, maybe go to Disney or Silver Springs or whatever, and then
Sounds very
around
expensive.
evening be over the Gulf of Mexico and watch the sunset over the ocean. I don't know of any places in the U.S. that you can do something like that.
There's
but-
only like 3 states that border the Gulf of Mexico.
yeah, that's
The Gulf of Mexico
is it 3? No, it's more than 3.
dirty.
It's like Texas,
Florida,
Louisiana,
Mississippi,
Florida,
Alabama, and Florida. 5 states.
Mississippi, Alabama. I don't
Yeah.
know what Mississippi is. I guess I
and
didn't have-
wait,
What?
and Louisiana. So what do we say?
I said Louisiana,
Don't know
Okay,
where Mississippi
yeah.
is.
Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, Alabama.
Yep, you heard it here first, folks.
Heard it here first.
And
And
we didn't have to fact check that.
Should I Google it?
pretty sure.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I actually don't know where Mississippi is. I thought it was like
What?
like
So you know what Louisiana looks like, right? It's a boot.
that is the only one I know the shape of.
Yes,
Of
Mississippi.
those besides
Mississippi
Florida.
fits on top of Louisiana,
I hate that.
and I just
That's a good way to describe it.
I just got rid of my ash on your thing.
Oh my gosh, not the black paint.
Dang it, I had a question. That's a good one. Oh,
Mhm.
yes.
Would you agree that Florida
Well, whatever.
Would you agree that Florida has a lot of Florida men in it?
Oh shoot, you're a Florida man.
Yeah, I am a Florida man. I was at
Yes.
a traffic light once, and I saw a man. So this is not Amish country, so it's very abnormal.
Right. The
These
Amish
are
don't
regular
go to Florida.
people. I'm prefacing this too much. I was at a traffic light, and I saw a man in a horse-drawn carriage, who I knew it was
You knew this man in the horse-drawn
Yeah,
carriage?
yeah. He was not Amish, but he was driving his horse-drawn carriage through town.
What?
It wasn't a carriage like a fancy one. It was like a cart, like an Amish cart.
So this wasn't a normal occurrence for this man that you knew.
Yeah, I was very intrigued by it. I didn't know.
You saw a fellow Florida man driving
Mhm.
his
Somebody
horse-drawn
knew.
carriage.
I called my dad and I said, "Hey, did you know that so and so is driving? Mr. Kicklighter is driving a horse-drawn carriage." And he's like, "Yeah, he does that."
Shout out to Mr. Kicklighter.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. What's more interesting
this
than growing up on
carriage
a
around.
farm is growing up in a town where you're like fifth generation in that town.
Oh yeah, I know
Yeah.
what that's like.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
5th generation?
not fifth for me, but like fourth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on my mom's side, probably fifth, maybe through seventh. But on my dad's side, no, like fourth,
There,
third.
there is in my hometown. There is another Brandon Lee Tedrow born on the same
Why
exact
did you give out your
date.
full name?
Why not?
Oh gosh.
It's on Facebook. It's on
Zachary
everything
Michael
else.
Graham.
Uh,
I like Francois Popor.
Francois.
Francois.
Oh crap!
uh,
They're not supposed to know that.
same exact name, same exact birth date,
Even
down to the
even
year,
more
birthday,
handsome.
just a couple hours apart, and we were born in the same town,
In the same hospital.
in the same hospital,
In the
yeah.
same room.
You know what that means?
One bed
of your
apart.
moms
And
cheated.
he lived one town over.
One of your moms cheated.
I don't know if that's how it works.
No, not like sexually. I mean, like they looked at the other's birth certificate and said, "That's pretty cool. I'll use that."
Yeah, who's older?
They just copied answers from birth certificates.
What about last name?
Exactly.
I
There's like, y'all just vote.
don't think you can copy down the last name. I think that one's set.
No, you can. You can change
just-
it. You can change whatever you want. It's
You
yours.
just put down whatever name you want for the last name.
Yeah, the baby's yours. You put
So
whatever you want.
I'll just put down Trump the last.
I mean, they
for
just-
my boy's last name or
You can
whatever.
fill out the whole thing, can't you? Just-
No, you can't put down the last name.
I don't know. I've never filled one out
I've had 2 children. Why don't you ask me?
That's this
because then
guy.
I can't fact check you.
No, you can't fact check me.
What do you put?
I don't know the answer.
See?
I don't remember.
See? It's always the mom that fills it out, even though
Yeah.
she just gave birth,
Yeah.
which makes no sense.
Her hands are still shaking. It's like.
still contracting after the aftershock.
Mm-hmm.
Us growing up so close, like towns over, like we would get our medical records, and like the only reason we knew about each other is because our mail would always get mixed up in our medical records.
And then
Like
what?
I would get his mail, he would get my mail.
How would you know whose was whose?
You didn't. You would just kind of guess. I mean, like if I had PNC as my bank and he had West Banco, and I got a West Banco thing, I'd be like, oh, it's not mine.
And you were
That's
the same
so-and-so's.
age?
And also, mail typically goes to your address.
You were the same age?
Yeah,
That would really suck if you applied to the same colleges and only one of you got in.
yeah.
That'd be disappointing. That'd be sad.
It's strange that you asked if they were the same age after
After
he
I
said
said
that
the
they
same
were born
birthday.
an hour. No, they weren't the same age. They were born an hour apart. You
I mean,
dummy.
you know, an hour and a year.
An hour and no.
An hour and a day.
That's wild. Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure we're not of the same Ted Rose. Like, there's like 2 sides of Ted Rose.
What do you mean pretty sure? I think that would be like
I'm
a
sure,
really
like, if
easy
you
thing to figure
trace
out.
far enough back, we stem from the same Ted Rowe name. But
You know, the
like,
the
we do
ancient
not,
right of
we
Ted
do
Rose.
not like associate with each other's.
What is the
families
origin
at
of the
all.
Tedrow name?
You piece of garbage.
I
Right.
did a
Have
23andMe
some
or whatever.
pride.
I'm mostly, I don't know, Irish, German,
Oh, German. Welcome back.
Irish and German. That's it. Like those
How-
are the big ones.
How far back German?
Huh?
How far back German?
Oh, you know.
What does
I
that
don't.
mean?
I don't.
If you're German all the way.
Yeah, German.
Like,
Yeah,
what
but-
does that mean?
When did you originate your German?
You want to taste my
ancestry.
blood?
It's not like a state where your family moved there and then became.
When I
How
was
far back?
It's not how genetics work.
when I was in high school. Speaking of Germany, when I was in high school, we got a foreign exchange student. This is our second foreign exchange student that I remember talking to, and because she had classes with me, and we had spoken. You know, she had an accent, and then later on, I found out that she was German, and I was like, you know, young history, young man in high school. that I was able to put 2 and 2 together. Oh, German girl.
Nazis.
Probably.
Oh.
Funny you should say that.
Gosh darn it.
Probably.
We can't ever get through a podcast without talking about Germany and Nazis.
Probably, from Germany and has been there for generations. And then I realized she has blonde hair and blue eyes. And so I was like,
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna get in trouble for this, but there's really no way for me to not be curious enough to ask this. So one day I just asked her, I was like, your family live in Germany like for generations? She was like, yeah, da. However they say it.
Duh.
And I was like, what did they do in the 40s? what did your grandparents do? What I was expecting, a laugh, a really offended
they
look.
take that seriously.
But but the response I got made me worried because it was a very like calm. Oh, I don't know. Like
Oh, I'm surprised she didn't
very
freaking
unexpected,
flip.
nonchalant reaction to it. And I was like, I thought I would have gotten, like a full answer out of this question, but I didn't get a single bit.
I have a similar tale that'll probably get me doxxed if I tell it.
I still
Go.
keep in touch with her. She's a very nice person.
All right, so I'll tell. I don't care. Farmer, you can't dox a farmer.
He's got all this land. What part is he on?
So when I was in high school, when I was a senior, there was a freshman, I think, who we were in band together, and he sat right next to me, and he looked Asian. And so there weren't many Asians in my town. It was a small town.
I know the feeling.
Wait,
what did you play in band?
I played the trumpet.
Okay.
A trumpeter.
You're a drummer.
Yeah.
And you played the...
I didn't mean to derail you.
I played the harpsichord.
The harpsichord.
You played the skin flute.
The whole, I was going to make that joke, but I didn't want to be...
Yeah, no, I made it. I jumped on it.
I don't even know what a harpsichord is. I don't know. I don't play instruments.
It's like a weird piano.
Oh, that's what that is? Yeah. I was thinking of the harp.
I didn't mean to derail you.
I tried to play the violin for like 6 months. I still have it. I'm not very good.
Yeah, so the kids... I'm should stop calling him a kid and like condescending towards him.
This now young man.
Yeah,
Asian.
the man's name. I just started calling him P.F. Chang.
Yeah, what?
He didn't talk to me. He just he didn't talk to anybody. He just was there, and I was like, oh, I'll just be friends with this guy. And so I came up with him P.F. Chang.
Do you like it?
The only Asian guy in town.
Do you like it?
I mean, he didn't complain.
People were built different back then.
Yes. This is a long time ago.
In a state's mini
product of my generation.
States away.
So he told me one day, he's like, Zach. It was like the first time he's talked to me. I'm like, oh, what's up, man? I've been talking to this guy for like a year.
Finally.
Yeah, and he said, Zach, it's like the end of the school year. I'm like, yes. And he said, you know, my name is John. I'm like, yeah, I know your name is John.
No,
other people call you that. He's
What?
like, what's your last name? He said, Andrews. I said,
he has a wider name than you do.
Andrews.
He does.
I said, that's interesting. He
John-
said, yeah, and I'm not from Asia. I said,
Not even a little bit.
are you sure?
Are you sure?
Have you looked?
He said, I'm from Alaska. And I was like, oh my gosh, I feel
gosh.
so bad.
It's the wrong Asian.
So yeah.
You're calling a dude from Alaska P.F. Chang? That's awesome. Oh my gosh.
He never even
That's
tried
wild.
to correct you.
He did at the end.
Well, yeah, I
He's
mean,
like, you know what? It's the end of the year. I might as well tell
he
him.
didn't say a lot. You know, he was
Break the
kind of
news
quiet.
to him.
I liked him. I was friendly to him.
Was he? Wait, sorry. Was he another trumpet player?
Yes.
Was he another trumpet?
Yeah. Yeah, he was another trumpet.
Yeah, he got
Player.
played by Zach.
You know,
every
trumpet
time.
players have that big ego. You know,
Do they?
They do.
I
They do.
have no clue.
Yeah.
it's a
I
thing.
always thought
It's
of
definitely
like
a thing.
drummers as having big egos
No,
because
drummers-
drummers are like
They're just beating off on skin all day.
They were all the weird. They all look like the kind of the cool weird kids.
We're
were
the
the
cool
drummers.
weird kids.
Yeah. Saxophone players with the potheads.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. The
And-
the Scooby Doo's like the chill like,
Mm-hmm.
hey man,
Yeah.
freaking Dylan on their saxophone. And then the
What?
trumpet players who were like
The French
that
horn players were like the
friggin'
professionals.
thought they were top shot.
I don't know if you had the same experience with French horn players. But
French
they were like
horns,
the-
yes.
Yeah, they were the
Yeah,
professionals.
they were the ones that were
like-
like really into it, and they were like, "I want to be first chair." I wanna be-
Yeah, like I'm gonna join the Philharmonic band when I get to
Yes.
high school.
I've never
Absolutely.
heard of
Yep.
any of this. Never took
Yeah.
band though.
And then
I
the-
think trombone players were probably the chillest, like normal
Yeah.
people in the band.
Trombone.
Yeah.
I would always think of them as like having the most acne. I don't know why. I just
No.
do.
I don't know.
I think you're
don't know
thinking
who
of
had the most
tuba
acne.
players.
Yeah.
Tuba players I picture as very overweight.
yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
very
I
overweight.
mean,
Yeah.
if
I
you're
mean,
gonna be holding that,
You're
thing,
gonna have to be big. It's like what, a quarter of your
kinda
body
have
weight?
to be thing.
How much does a tuba weigh?
I think it was like 400 or 500 pounds.
No, it wasn't.
was.
There's no way.
They're surprisingly light. Like
Yeah,
they
they're not
just
that
kind of
bad.
wrap around your body, and
Really?
You do-
I always
I
picture
mean-
them as being like 30 or 40 pounds. I've never picked up an instrument.
I mean, they very well could be. It's just like when it's wrapped around your body like that, you kind of don't feel it.
Yeah.
It's when you start swinging though and like turning, that's when you feel it.
And the little man comes out the top, and starts blaring his own trumpet.
Yeah, that was in that movie, that documentary about the Grinch, wasn't it?
Documentary.
My sister, we used to like practice in this like just open field outside of our school. Like we used to sit out there and march all day or whatever. So
Why?
my sister, what do you mean for the halftime show? Marching band,
What would you do out there?
What do you
march.
Did you bring your instruments?
Learn-
Or
yeah,
just
yeah.
play?
Yeah, like you'd play and you'd march. You'd practice like where you're going to, your spots.
Oh my god.
You had to have it all memorized.
You guys are such nerds.
Anyways,
Before your story, we need to take a quick break from our sponsors.
for the sponsors.
Yeah, for our sponsors.
Oh, what sponsors?
I don't know, but
I don't
the gin,
Oh, okay, I
the
gotcha.
Gin Fizz has gone through me.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, if you know what I mean.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Yeah. So we practice out in the field or whatever right outside of our school
Right,
or whatever.
band camp with your
next to it.
sister.
And yeah, my sister was also a drummer. So she has you've probably seen the marching massive bass drum like that you hold onto your chest.
Yeah, the bong bong.
Yeah.
Boom, boom,
This
boom.
is about
Yeah.
a tuba player, right?
Yeah. So my sister is a
Holy
bass
moly.
has the bass drum. I think at the time I just have the quads or whatever. It's my senior year. It's
You were
her
the-
freshman year.
What's a quad?
The 4 drums. Ba-da-da.
Oh, that makes sense.
Anyway, bass drum. My sister's walking around, and there's this big tuba player. And he's a freaking goofball, like idiot. Anyway, he kept walking. He kept going into my sister's spot while we were practicing on the field.
On purpose?
I don't know if it was on purpose, but like after a couple times, my sister's like, "Stop going there," and he's like, "Oh, I'm not going there. It's this is where I'm supposed to be." And she's like, "No, it's not." And she's like showing him on the chart, and then he kept doing it. So my sister got so upset or got so mad the last time she literally like walked to the spot while he was there and slammed him out of the way with the bass drum, and he's holding his tuba and he falls down. It's just like, little small my sister like in the middle of the day like practicing marching.
Yeah, your
and
sister's
no
not
one
very
even
big.
notices. Like he just turns around like, "What the heck?" He's like this bigger dude. "What the heck was that?" And she's just like laughing, and I just like peek out of the corner of my eye, see all of it go down. I'm dying. I'm just laughing.
Did you go beat on his quads?
No, I have my own quads. He has a tuba. You're not getting it, are you?
No, not even a little.
It was hilarious though, to
Excellent.
say the least.
Fortacious young man.
It would hurt.
I got a
to
band
get
camp
smacked
story
by a
that'll probably
bass drum.
you'll understand.
I've been to church camp a few times.
Yeah. How was that?
Oh, I cried.
I want to hear
cried
about
with-
this band camp experience.
It's not. Well, there's a lot of band camp stories, but the one that I want to share with your viewers is the time that
What are you doing
Our
at band camp?
our band director. So it was summertime. You know,
Careful.
Florida. Band director's wearing his
Ooh,
crocodile hunter shorts.
And 4 shine zipper boots.
as they do in the summer.
And
As one does in Florida.
There's a lot of lead up to a pretty simple story. His testicles were hanging out on one side.
What the crap?
Yeah.
How,
I-
how
no
short were
way.
these
Yeah.
shorts?
I saw them and I was like a freshman, so I didn't know what to do. So I just ignored it.
It's like,
Just let it persist.
What?
And his nephew was in the same grade as me, and he's like, "Hey, did you see my uncle's test?" It was.
you
Yeah.
saw your teacher's brain.
How old was this dude?
He was. I don't know. Probably in his mid-30s.
Really?
They
Mid-30s?
they
He's
shouldn't
hanging
be
that
hanging
low?
that low,
He's
right?
hanging that
That's what I was
low.
thinking.
I was like, he's probably in his 70s. You know,
Yeah,
give the guy a
Holy
break.
crap.
How short were these shorts?
I told you.
The
You ever seen
crocodile
the
hunter.
crocodile hunter?
No,
Yeah.
I
Steve
haven't.
Irwin.
I haven't.
Yeah, they were that short.
Well,
They're
I
like-
haven't. seen-
They're like runner shorts, like,
They're pretty short.
Oh,
but like khaki,
You've
Oh.
never seen the crocodile
no,
hunter?
I haven't.
Can you imagine what he looks like in your head?
I can picture his face and his knife. And that is it.
His knife.
Yeah, his knife.
I think he's
That's
staying
a
of
knife.
Crocodile Dundee.
Crocodile Dundee.
Who's Crocodile Hunter then?
Crocodile
Irwin.
Hunter, Steve
Oh,
Irwin.
Steve Irwin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, I used to get him and Crocodile Dundee mixed up all the time.
Crocky.
Crikey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Steve Irwin.
No, not even a little bit.
That was.
No, I mean, I can't.
Got killed by the stingray.
Yeah, I can only picture his face too. And I know what his son looks like and his daughter. That's
Yeah,
it.
they're very popular.
Yeah,
Right now.
they're getting on my YouTubes all the time now.
Hmm.
Them and their gators that they're fondling.
The son is taken after Steve Irwin. I mean,
Yeah.
both of them really are, and they're really popular
Yeah,
right now.
Bendy Irwin and
Is it
I don't
Jack?
I don't know the son's
something?
name.
I can't remember either, and
Which
I
is
can't
funny
Google
because
anything.
he's on my feed a lot more than she is, but her name just stood out because it's like who names their daughter Bendy? No offense
He does.
to the Irwin family.
How
Bendy's a cool
dare
name.
you.
It's just I've never met a woman named Bendy.
How dare you?
Also, I think Bendy is an Indian name.
I think you're just guessing, but we can't Google that. So
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Bendy is like the name of a character on Jungle Book.
I don't know.
That's Mowgli.
Mowgli? No, that's the tiger. I'm pretty sure
What?
Is it Mowgli the tiger on Jungle Book?
What do you want to talk about next?
I haven't seen the Jungle Book.
Oh my gosh.
Would you agree
I don't
that
know.
Florida is basically the Australia of the U.S.?
When it comes to like strange
Wildlife
wildlife, yeah,
and people,
yeah.
criminals all
There's
over.
this bug in Florida. It's like it's called a
It's called a mosquito.
It's called a well, yeah. No, it's called a muskmare, and it's this walking stick looking thing. It's like this big,
and it eats
and
you.
they spray noxious fumes in your face.
What?
Yeah, from afar,
What do you mean from how far? 6
Well,
feet?
no, not 6 feet, but like a foot.
6
You know,
feet
but,
back,
like
please.
crawl. You're like
Right.
sitting in a
You're a
deer,
s-
you're
you're a
sitting in a
small
deer
child.
stand hunting, and it's like dead of winter, 95 degrees, and it's like this
You hear the
this
gentle
muskmare
hiss.
comes down. And you're like, oh, hello, stick, and it's like,
Hey there,
"Oh,"
buddy.
and you can't see for the rest of the day.
And then
Really?
and then the deer just buck you
Freaking
to
just
death.
knocks out your vision for the day.
Well, I've never had it happen because I was
What
told
is it?
this.
What
I
is
was
it,
told
stink?
this.
He was a farmer, not a hunter.
I don't know.
He was an orchard boy.
Did you hunt?
Yes, but not as much as I would have liked to.
Do you want to now?
Yes, so I'm going back to reoccupy the old homestead here in a few weeks on the farm. And
Oh,
I'm-
really?
Yeah,
You're going back to home?
yeah,
Huh.
yeah. Take over the farm.
I've seen this movie before.
Wow.
Really, Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
I'm gonna build a baseball
Gosh,
field.
darn. Back to Field of Dreams.
Not even a little bit. I've seen 42. That's a good movie.
What's that movie?
I don't know
Was it
what that is.
42? Jackie Robinson?
Oh, I haven't seen it. I'm sorry.
I haven't
good
seen it
movie.
either.
Really? Of all the movies, it's an excellent movie. Jackie Robinson, baseball player.
Yeah, so now that you're
First-
leaving, you're retiring from
First
what-
black baseball
our
player.
job now,
Mhm.
what are you going to go do? You're just going to work on the farm?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the farm, work for my father, and then eventually swap roles with my father. He will enter his retirement years, and I will just do the farming. And don't ask me technical questions because I left when I was 18 and I don't remember them.
Okay.
Well, you know what a tango meerkat is, so
Yeah, I do
trust
know what a
your.
tango meerkat is.
What kind of things did you have on the farm? Like, what array
Citrus.
of citrus did you have?
What kind of so?
What was your
This
crops?
this is a question that nobody's interested in but me, but I will talk about it.
I'm
we
interested.
had Satsumas, Poncans, Orlando Tangelos,
I have
Mineola
no idea what
That's
you're
Tangelos.
not
saying
a
right
word.
now.
That is
We
not
had-
a word.
These
We
can
had
all
red
be made
navels,
up.
we had white navels, we had lees.
I love a good
We
white
had
navel.
we had temples.
You have not said a single thing that I've recognized.
So the
Navel
yeah,
oranges. I know that.
I think a navel is probably
A
the most
navel,
familiar word.
Yeah.
Everything else was just like foreign to me.
yeah.
Yeah, I love a good pond can and Tango
Poncans
meerkat.
were delicious.
Punch is a pond can.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah,
these-
I don't know
All
how
kinds
a
of stuff.
citrus could be different other than size and shape.
well, that is how they're different.
That's literally it. They don't
Well,
taste any
and
different.
flavor.
No, they do taste different.
I can't imagine orange because like oranges, clementines. I mean, almost
So,
grapefruits. They don't
the-
taste any different.
I don't really want to talk about citrus all that much, but I will. It's interesting. So most, I guess,
Fruits.
fruits like there's a single origin on the evolutionary
Right,
tree,
on a
and then
tree.
it branches out into many different things.
Right?
Right.
Fruit grows on trees.
Like no,
no, he knows.
yeah. So citrus is weird because there's like 4 different origins that interwoven into this like mesh of various types of fruit. So some of the fruits that we use to make the fruits that we have now don't even exist anymore, and it's this
Yeah, like bananas.
inbred, very kind of delicate ecosystem, and they die a lot and they keep getting killed because of how inbred they are. They're kind of like the those European monarchs from back in the day.
Yeah, like pugs.
Mhm. The Habsburgs.
They can't
Their
breathe.
big chins.
I've heard about this. Like,
You've heard about
no,
Habsburg
no,
jaws?
like about different fruits or whatever.
I love talking about Habsburg jaws.
Like you get down to one specific genetic code, I guess, or variation of a fruit or whatever that like produces the best
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah, like
quality,
bananas.
size, or whatever. Yeah, like bananas.
we did that for decades.
But all it takes is one strand of, whatever to infect the crops. And since they're all the same genetic code, they all get wiped out.
Yeah. So my family kind of moved away from citrus because of that, partially. And they moved into growing peaches, and that's what they're growing now. Florida peaches.
Oh my goodness.
You guys have probably never had a Florida peach because I don't think you can buy them outside of the state of Florida.
Had a Georgia
Some
peach.
of us could argue
Yeah.
that we've never had a peach.
No.
Some of us
Who?
here. You?
What?
I've never eaten a peach.
You
You really have never eaten a
That's not
peach?
true.
I've eaten artificial
That's
flavored things. I've probably had
You've never
something
had
with
a
peach
peach?
juice.
Serious?
I'm almost certain. I had a watermelon for the first time like 2 days ago.
there's no way.
What did
are
you
you talking
eat?
about?
I don't.
Gushers? You just go up on Gushers?
Yeah.
No, I remember when they
for
came out.
roll-ups.
I remember when
What
they came.
the-
I love a good fruit roll up. They got the
Oh
tattoo
my-
tongue
You
tattoos.
remember when they came out?
Yeah, I remember when Gushers came out. It was a big deal. Like, wow.
I don't think you remember when Gushers came out.
I do.
How old are you?
Don't worry about it.
I think, it'd be you'd have
25?
you'd have very young memories if you remember when Gushers came out.
Oh, I do. We've
Hmm.
talked about it. Not on here, I don't think. But yeah, my memories. I think my earliest one, I was like 7, 8 months old.
Your memories go back.
Do you remember being 7 months old?
I remember a specific event from when I was about 7 months old. It was the first time I ever.
I'll take your word for it. But that is an unbelievable claim.
Yeah, my
Let
family.
me Google it.
My family has told me.
When my children were 7
verbatim.
months old, I did not care how I behaved because I was certain that it would not stick.
Oh yeah, trust me, I remember.
Oh, Zach, you're screwed.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
What have you done? What have you done in front of your children?
Be more careful.
Sorry, Gus.
Especially like core memories. Like my first memory. So there's two that stand out. There's three that stand out. One of them not so much a core memory. The other one was the first time I ever got knocked like unconscious. Scared the crap out of me. It was because I was in there was less safety standards back in the day. You're aware of what a high chair is.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this country buffet restaurant,
Bob's Country Bunker.
pretty close. Back to
Close.
where I grew up at, and this particular restaurant had high chairs that you would put your children in, but they were on wheels,
Hmm.
and that way you could just roll it up right up to the table. And I remember being placed in one, going up to the table. Everyone's having their meal because it was these big, long family tables. You would bring the whole family to eat at, and it's a buffet. But I'm a baby, so I can't do anything about it. So I'm reaching for something in front of me. I think it was like a salt shaker, pepper shaker, what have you, packet. And I'm like doing this, trying to get closer to it to reach. And at some point during the forward and back motion, uh, the wheel popped, and then I just went boom, smacked right back, and I remember falling backwards and then just black. And I asked my mom, I was like, "What is this memory that I'm remembering?" It's like, "Oh,
Wow.
I know exactly what you're talking about because
How
you
old were
scared
you?
the crap out of us."
That validates a theory that Louis C.K. had. Louis
Huh.
C.K., the renowned comedian. You know who he is?
Yeah, the one that got arrested that
That's
one time.
He didn't
insane. We
get
were
it.
just talking about
he's
Louis
sued.
C.K.
Arrested.
today.
He
That's weird that you brought that up.
he
So crazy.
one of his routines was that his first memory was him shitting, but it was like a
What?
very painful shit. Like it was so traumatic that it like started the tape recorder
What?
of his memory.
This is how we jumpstart.
You're
This
like,
is how we jumpstart life.
yeah.
Started the tape.
It's like,
recorder.
wow, I'm
That's pretty
now
good.
self-aware because I just knocked myself out.
Yeah. I think I have the same kind of thing though. My first memory is me standing in the kitchen of my house with my young parents at the time, and I just remember my mother saying to my father, "You leave or I will leave." And she's just screaming, and my dad's just standing there. That's like my first memory.
That's not a good first memory.
No, but the rest of them were good. You know.
There's another one where I'm like being fed pizza at a kitchen table, but I have no clue how old I was for that. I'm probably there. Honestly, the age I was for that memory to happen because I was not in the house that I grew up in, and in order for that to be true, I would have to be 6 months old or less. And I don't think that's a real memory.
I
But
don't understand.
I'd have to
That's just insane. Like that young is kind of unheard of.
I mean, I don't remember the womb. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
I wouldn't ever believe someone if they say they remember the womb. I'm gonna be honest.
You never heard about like the average redditor that's like, I'm so incredibly intelligent. and
Unless you are
evolved. I remember
Stewie, unless you are
sloshing around in
Stewie
the
from
womb.
Family Guy, I don't believe you.
Well, he's been 18 for like, or he's been 1 years old for like 18 years.
I wanted to ask you,
You're right.
how did you when did you have your first cigar? How'd you get into smoking cigars?
So when I was 15, no, no,
Oh,
this
gosh.
is just tobacco in general. Which, by the way, I'm a
Oh,
big
no.
advocate of tobacco.
He loves big
big
tobacco.
big advocate of tobacco.
Not a sponsor.
Yeah, it's a very unpopular opinion these days. You have to either be an advocate of vaping or weed, and no, tobacco all the way.
You could be an advocate of neither.
Yeah, right. But if you're gonna pick some sort of like smoky thing, it's vapes or weed these days, but tobacco. So when I was 6, I grew up in a small town.
Holy
and
crap! It keeps getting younger.
Yeah, everybody dipped, and so I would say, I want to dip. I want to dip. My dad didn't dip, but all of his brothers did and his cousins and whatnot.
6 years old?
So I got my first dip when I was 6 years old, and that was like
You're going to lose your jaw.
That was I don't dip anymore. That was I maybe give away midway through the story at the beginning. Anyway, so I dipped when I was 6, and then it like left an impression on me. So when I was 15, I started dipping on my own. and I dipped from the age of 15 to 25, and then I quit, just cause. And I didn't do any tobacco until I was 27, and then I started hanging out with some religious people, and they were like, "No, you need to start doing tobacco again." I'm like, "This is ironic," but
What?
yeah, right. So I started smoking again around the age of 27. Or started smoking cigars for the first time around the age of 27. And like I said, it was initially just because it seems like a sophisticated thing to do. But it's like whiskey. Like the more you do it, the more you're like, no, this is awesome. So we
All
would
right,
uh,
so
we would get together on the
I think
weekends,
most
and
drug addicts are like that, though.
well, yeah.
Like, no.
I mean, it applies to a lot. It
you gotta
applies.
trust your
There's a
hand.
certain category of
You
like
take a hit of this, you'll never go back.
no. There's a certain category of substances that like
Yeah, class 1.
you sophisticate your palate to, like coffee. To tone it down a little bit, coffee's the same way.
caffeine.
No, not coffee. Coffee by itself, just black coffee, is not particularly delicious. It's not like a sweet tea.
No, it's bad. I
You
don't
know.
like black coffee.
But then people drink black coffee and are like, you know what? I like black coffee. And whiskey is probably the same way. Like the first time you had a shot of whiskey, you were like, oh my gosh, how do people consume this stuff?
Well, to
But
be fair,
then,
my first shot of whiskey was Jim Beam honey, and I hated it, and I still do. No offense to Jim Beam and his honey, but it's not good.
So what do you mean by you were around some religious people and they said you need to start doing tobacco again?
the we would get together and we would like talk about just philosophical deep things, very unlike what we're talking about so far in this podcast, but
Excellent.
We can get there.
philosophical deep things. And like
We can
they
rank
would
Europe
just
stuff
like
later.
we smoke. It's called we smoke and we drink and we talk about this kind of stuff. I'm like, all right, let's do it. And then it just stuck. I really think nicotine is a stimulant in a good way, as in it stimulates thought. Specifically, cigars and pipes. Cigarettes are more of a 5 minute, get a quick
Buzz.
hit. Yeah, but
Sherlock Holmes does it
yeah,
That's-
in his books,
What, cigarettes?
pipes.
Oh.
yeah.
So does Tucker Carlson, for anybody that likes him.
What do you think of pipes?
I think pipes are really cool, but they're more difficult. You gotta like light a pipe over and over and over again. A cigar, like I've lit this thing once and it's still burning.
Yeah.
Even after our word from our sponsors, it's still burning. The
Excellent.
pipes, like they go out if you stop puffing on them. So I like them, but I don't really get involved in them.
You have an ash on your, or yeah, you have an ash on your eyelash.
You have eyelash ash.
I'm assuming it's from
It's
the
the
pipe.
other side.
Or the
The
It's the
cigar.
other side.
now
Oh, it's Ash Wednesday.
you put a hole in it, but
Yeah.
aren't
Other people
there
cut it.
little cuts, little
Yeah.
clippers?
Yeah, it's just a personal preference.
I feel like your way, you're getting more out of your whole cigar. You're not losing out on any.
Yeah, the 3 millimeters of
Yeah.
cigar he
I mean-
cut off.
I don't know.
Yeah. You smoke it right down to the bottom, right down to the socket.
Yeah, you just keep get the little stub up there.
Hitting your tobacco vape.
This particular cigar is good, but it's kind of hard to draw through it, which is a bummer.
Is it because it's too tightly packed?
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
there's like something that's like blocking airflow through it.
I thought the more tightly packed it was, the better.
No. That's if it's too loosely packed, that's not good. And if it's too tightly packed, it's also not good.
I heard a lot of people like to soak theirs in liquors, like tequila,
Their
whiskey.
cigars?
Yeah.
Like the end that your
I've never
mouth
done that.
is. Like the end that your mouth is.
Oh, okay.
They dip it in. I've seen that.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm.
What's the worst European country?
The
What?
worst isn't Serbia, isn't that it?
Is Serbia European?
Yeah.
It's not Asian.
I don't think so. It's I say that out of humility. It's false humility. It's European.
Are you you're positive?
Yes.
Okay.
Google.
Albania? Is that it? What do you think it is?
Worst
I know you're not
European
gonna. I know
country?
you're gonna say France.
I'm not gonna say France.
No.
I love France.
How dare
Yeah.
you?
It is going downhill. I can't talk about the reason why I think it's going downhill, but it is.
You can.
That's why your family had to leave,
Especially
right?
Paris. Yeah. Unfortunately, a couple generations back.
I heard that during the revolution, they stuck a naked prostitute on the altar of Notre Dame Cathedral and worshipped her as the goddess of reason.
I think I saw that Disney movie.
Yeah, it sounds like something Disney would make these days.
Hunchback of Notre Dame. Hunchback of Notre Dame's a good movie.
Yeah.
Esmeralda.
Have you seen the AI generated Disney posters or Pixar posters?
No, it's unfortunate
No.
that you can't look.
Isn't no?
It's like so like imagine like
Dragons.
the poster for like Up, the movie.
Yeah.
But like it says like the Twin Towers and it's like two pilots like in a plane like about to crash into
What?
like 9/11 or like people are making AI generate Disney posters for horrific events in history and they're really good. They actually looks like something that Disney made.
That's what we've come to, huh?
Oh, one
So
I can't
We
remember.
don't. We don't deserve this technology.
The one was about like the Holocaust, but it was like
All right.
oh no, it was the cost, and it was it's
Oh
like
my gosh.
a Pixar Hitler, and the poster looks really good. Like it
Looks
looks
like-
legit.
Looks like Wreck-It Ralph.
Even
It
our
does.
even our AI is as degenerate.
I
as
feel
we
like
are.
Pixar
We
Hitler
can't-
would just be Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah,
Even though he was the good guy.
Yeah,
I
my
think,
dad
in
and
that
granddad
movie.
were right.
To answer your question, probably Romania.
You think? Transylvania has a vampire problem.
Is Transylvania a country?
I think so.
I don't
Well,
think
no,
it is.
no, I don't think. I think you're right. It's not.
I
a
think it's
country.
like
It's
a
not
city,
country.
isn't it?
Well, it's a region.
It's an area.
It might be a country.
I don't know. Then again, Greece did get bankrupt like 3 times now and bailed out by American celebrities.
so
And how do you do
are you
that?
talking about Hawaii? I love when American celebrities ask
donate.
me to.
What's the most
Give money.
unpopular opinion that you?
Most unpopular opinion
Yeah,
that I hold.
yeah.
He's not even gonna be truthful.
I can't tell my
You should.
actual most unpopular opinion.
You should.
One that I get a lot of backlash for saying is, and I honestly don't know why, because my reasonings for it are very easy to understand, but I think marijuana should be illegal. I hate it
Ooh, that's an unpopular one.
very much.
That
so.
is highly
I can't
unpopular.
stand it.
Because all the lefties smoke it, and all the right wing people are all just a bunch of washout libertarians that think everything should be legal.
Yeah.
I can't stand marijuana at all. I hate all drugs, honestly, but pot ticks me off.
Why does pot tick you off?
So like
Why does pot and not black tar heroin tick you off?
this is gonna be a really.
Do you think? Well, hold on, real quick. Do you think tobacco should be illegal?
I don't think tobacco should be illegal, but
Excellent.
I
You do not need to. You don't need to justify that.
let me just articulate the reason. Not the reason. With the restriction of, I don't think it should be allowed in restaurants. I am glad they got rid of that. There should be designated areas where you can smoke, and I'm glad for that. But for marijuana, no. Get that out.
I don't think he likes the
No,
opinion
I don't think he does.
of not being able to smoke in restaurants.
Don't you think a business should be allowed to dictate what it does?
That's a
within
good
its own
point.
Four walls.
A
Absolutely.
business, sure, but I'm not going to be using that business, and I'm willing to bet the people nowadays are less likely to use those businesses.
Yeah.
So I think they'd be on my side for the most part.
Weren't you okay with like if a restaurant had a smoking section, a non-smoking section?
that
Isn't
we're
okay?
separated by.
If it's separated by a complete wall.
The Golden Corral. The Golden Corral always had a walled off area for
I remember as a child going to a diner
Smoking.
that had a smoke. It's like smoking at the bar is what you could do, and the place always smelled like cigarettes. And it's like, I'm just trying to enjoy my grilled cheese. I can't taste it because it smells like ash.
If a restaurant has a bar, I think they are entitled to have ashtrays at the bar.
Well, it's not like it's not like a bar. It's like a counter,
Mm.
like a diner counter. There's no alcohol there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the little counter at the Waffle House. Sit
So
up there,
Yeah.
get food.
what kind of backlash have you got? Like, what are the arguments you've gotten from that?
They're like, why? Just think of the taxes. I'm like, I don't care about the taxes. I don't want it legalized.
Yeah.
Like, but
we can
people,
legalize prostitution and tax that instead.
yeah, we could. There's a lot of things we could legalize and tax. That's not going to help me out. Like, what are more taxings on other things that I don't use going to do for me? Yay, my road has one less pothole in it. Whoopee.
Another point that people usually make. I'm not
You probably,
arguing a proponent
I
of
think
it,
you've overheard me have arguments with people that are like, why doesn't Alec like pot?
but another
Or why doesn't
point
he wanna
is
legalize
that
it?
the marijuana that people get a hold of is better and it's regulated if it is legalized and controlled by the government.
That's my other unpopular opinion. If you're willing to take the risk, I don't care what kind of regulations that you have on your drug of choice.
It's a fair point.
Like you're using drugs to get high and you're willing to risk it. I don't care what you put in your body, but I don't want to see it or smell it or deal with it in my everyday life. And that's one of the things that I dislike most about marijuana is that when I'm driving down the interstate and somebody in front of me is smoking, I smell it.
Yeah.
I hate that.
It's
That ticks
potent.
me off.
It's very potent.
Yeah, and you know what I don't like the smell of? Skunks, burning tires, and yet every other car in this town now smells like it because Virginia decided to legalize it. I don't know, like 2 years ago, a year ago. You walk down the street, you can't get away from it. It's like, goodness gracious. People in
Yeah.
Seattle must be coughing up a lung every day.
I feel like people think it's it's like hidden. Like people will like, smoke and then they will like go into work like right afterwards and they still have the
I
stench
hate it.
walking through the workplace. And it's like it's obvious, dude. Like
I
I
mean-
can smell it for the next 30 minutes on you.
I know people that like the smell of like a campfire, and I don't even like to smell like smoke. And especially pot smoke. Pot smoke is like you put the worst grade of coffee through a filter, sprayed it with skunk spray, and then set it on fire with rubber. And it's like, I hate this. This is awful. And it's like, well, think of the tax dollars. You could fund children's futures. No, we're not. That's not going to go to them.
I'll make sure of it.
Yeah, I will burn it to the ground.
Yeah. We could also harvest blood diamond.
But blood diamonds are fine. My only like real complaint is that like I hate the smell. I hate the smell and I hate what it does to people. I've had to deal with and see a lot of people that have been lost due to drug use, and people are always like, "Well, marijuana is not a gateway drug." You can say that all you want, but every pothead that I knew growing up, having never been involved in that scene myself, they all went on to much harder things very soon after they got into marijuana.
Did you hear them say things like marijuana is not addictive?
Yeah, marijuana is
Isn't
not
that,
addictive.
Isn't that insane?
And then like they do it every day. It's like you're literally doing it every day. I can quit anytime I
Yeah.
want. So do cigarette smokers. They say the same thing. So do alcoholics.
saying marijuana is not addictive is crazy.
It's stupid. It's
Like,
because
Pornhub is addictive.
yeah, almost everything's addictive.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh no, pot, you're safe. This is a safe drug. It's fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
I don't think it should necessarily be illegal, but I wish that nobody smoked it recreationally. I think it's a very good medicinal thing.
I would be more okay with like if people really need to get high, if you want to use like pot or whatever, I'm more apt to letting people
Have you ever smoked pot?
No.
Have you ever smoked pot?
No.
Disclaimer, nobody here has ever smoked pot.
Yeah, I
So-
have never done any drugs besides caffeine. That's the hardest drug I've ever. Well, I guess alcohol, if you count alcohol as a drug, which I personally don't.
You've never had a
Do you
surgery.
take caffeine
Huh?
pills?
You've never had a surgery and you
No.
had drugs to take after
No.
from the dentist.
When you say you
No.
do caffeine, what do you mean? Like caffeine pills or beverages?
Beverages.
Shooting
Beverages
up
with caffeine.
caffeine.
Yeah.
That's not drugs, that's food.
Caffeine. Yeah. Hard chocolate is what I call it.
Hard chocolate.
Hard chocolate.
Yeah. lost his life to caffeine. His wife left him.
Oh gosh, he drank 30 Red Bulls in
Mhm.
24 hours. Look at his life now. He's dead.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then people are like, "You can't OD on marijuana." It's like, okay.
That's
I mean, I
fine.
don't know if that's true. It might be, but I
I'm
don't want
sure
you.
you can OD on anything.
I don't want you eating a pound of it and then getting behind the wheel of a car and then you can't even tell that
That's effectively you ODing.
yeah, and then you get pulled
mean,
over, but you're too
car
out
ac-
of this world
If
to
car
do
accidents
anything.
counted as coronavirus deaths, then they count as,
It's like-
count as
it's like,
marijuana
what?
ODs.
All of this stuff is happening.
So you would say,
This is
Zach,
huh?
you would say you're okay with it?
With him making marijuana
No,
illegal.
no.
With
Marijuana,
marijuana.
like being legal.
I'm okay with it just because I don't think there's a feasible way to make it illegal. Like you can't like legislate people's opinions on things. You know what I mean? Like if you make it illegal, people will just smoke pot illegally.
Well, if you control the media, you control the world.
Sure. We are as a society too accepting of it to just make it illegal overnight. But if nobody smoked it, I wouldn't be opposed to that. And if nobody smoked it, you wouldn't have to make it illegal, would you? Because it wouldn't be a problem.
But it was already illegal.
Yeah, it was. I mean, they did that, but
That's why
I don't know the history to that.
That's why I'm more okay with them putting like that stupid chemical bull crap in like gummies and then selling it at specific stores for those people that really want it. As long as they don't have to smell it,
THC?
I'm more willing to deal with it if that's what it is, sure.
Wait, so if you're okay with it like being in edibles, gummies, whatever,
I am more okay with that than I am someone making the smoking of it legal.
but you're okay with that being legal. Like you would rather want that legalized over
If I had to
smoking.
choose one of the evils to pick between, I would rather them say you can put it in gummies in these specific stores and you have to label it completely so that people know what they are buying and tax it heavily because why not?
And
I like less potholes.
but not the children.
No. If you want a good education, that's on you.
um, so are you okay with the government taxing alcohol a lot?
What's a lot?
I don't know. Like it, you
I don't
know,
know what we tax it at.
marijuana, they'll tax it like something ridiculous, like over 20% or something.
Double it and give it to the next person.
So like alcohol too, are you okay with that?
No, not alcohol. I think alcohol is too ingrained in our society and also as a civilization for way too long for it to be taxed that heavily. I think
That's just a circumstance. Like
I
that
do
could
think
easily be different.
I do think that the punishments for alcohol related injuries to people should be much harsher though.
You talking about like a drunk driving?
Yeah, drunk driving, DUIs, hit and runs, uh, disorderly conduct outside if you're under the influence. Um, shoot, even assault with people that are like drunk, because it's gonna happen more likely if you are under the influence. Make those harsher, at least
I don't
fine heavier, more heavily.
I don't think alcohol should be taxed like well, I'm okay with taxing various things to certain levels, but it's all about like why are you doing it? Are you doing it because you're trying to villainize alcohol? I don't think you should be villainizing alcohol. I think alcohol does a lot of good for society. Case in point, every single one of your podcast episodes is named after an alcoholic beverage.
You darn Skippy,
Yeah.
dadgummit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, we drink.
yeah. No, my point was to compare it like something that you like, alcohol, to marijuana, and seeing if you were
Plus-
gonna have double standards.
I would say, well, yeah, I do have a double standard, but I admit it. And I think that's mostly what drives people nuts is that I'm like, yeah, I'll admit to my double standard. I
don't
hate
think it's a
pot,
double standard.
but I don't mind alcohol. Also,
I don't think it's a double standard.
Why?
I can't smell alcohol.
It can be a double standard. Like if you are smoking pot to get high, or if you are drinking alcohol to get drunk, and you think smoking pot to get high is wrong, then that's a double standard.
Yeah, because when I drink, we don't get like, blasted out of our minds. I have never
Are you
been.
sure?
Yes, absolutely. We have never gotten to the point to where, what do you call it? Anything that I do when I'm drunk, or at the point after having been drinking, is not something I would not do when I was sober. You know what I mean? I have not been to that point.
So do you think like when you say your line is like
My
getting
inhibitions,
blackout drunk?
You're saying you've never been drunk.
not drunk. I've never been blacked out.
What's the-
I have full memory of everything that I've done when I've been drinking.
So do I. But I've done stupid stuff.
But is it something that you would not have done had you been sober?
Yes.
Oh, I've never been to that point now. Anything I do when I'm drunk, I would be well willing to do when I'm sober.
Hmm.
Including that time
that's-
that we jumped over fire.
That's commendable.
That was awesome.
Yeah, we're just in my backyard and we had a fire.
What's your most unpopular?
We just had
opinion?
that fire was huge. It's like
Let me
6 feet
take a
tall.
potty break.
Okay.
This is the most you've ever had to pee.
What's your question?
Did you hit play?
My question is, so I asked his most controversial topic. I'm asking your most controversial topic.
That's the one that I can think of.
Opinion.
And yeah, I
I've
mean,
refilled in case anyone's wondering
I'm sure we all have
about the
like
color.
Thank you. I'll write that down.
controversial
You're welcome.
opinions. And I wouldn't say this is my most, because I'd say a lot of the population of the United States agrees. But yeah, abortion, all abortion should be illegal. That'd be mine. I'm gonna bring that one up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't really consider that controversial.
That's
though, 'cause
not very controversial.
I
mean,
do
It's
think-
pretty controversial.
So
It
I
is
think-
controversial.
It's like
but
dividing of the
you will have
country.
a large portion
No.
of the populace behind you.
I would say the only reason why it's controversial is because the people that disagree with you are significantly louder than the ones that agree.
Yeah.
You know, like the silent majority, I think, is a
Like, I
very
think
big part of abortion.
His opinion, only old people will agree with him.
Yeah,
All young people,
I appeal to
regardless
the
of
boomers.
political opinion.
Oh wow.
And no, not even the
My
boomers.
opinion's not even that controversial.
The
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no, it's fine. That's so vanilla.
Your controversial opinion sucks.
Not even the boomers would agree with
I
you.
don't think-
Only
I
like
don't know. I
Yeah.
can't think of something.
the World War II vets would agree with you.
Yeah, maybe World War II, the Korean veterans. They're like, yeah, brother,
Yeah.
that's my soul man.
I don't know. I don't know then.
Marijuana ticks me off. Sorry, I'm not.
Murder ticks me off.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I agree with you.
I don't know. I guess I'll have to think of something else then.
Mhm.
It's too vanilla for you guys.
What's your opinion on milk?
Too vanilla.
What's your opinion on the what is
Milk. There's like 40
Says-
different.
You want to go to milk?
40 different. There's 40 different varieties in every store now.
Yeah.
So you're
What if-
specifically talking about
Every cow,
humans
I'm
drinking
just
dairy
saying-
milk?
Yeah, I'm just saying every cow's got a perfectly good. Well, half the cows got a perfectly good set of teats. They are there to be milked.
All the cows.
They love it. You ever see a video of a cow getting milked?
all
They're
the
having
cows.
the best of times.
All the cows.
Half the cows. The other half don't produce milk.
Are you thinking of
Different-
bulls?
Different kind of milk.
Are you thinking of bulls?
You realize they're both cows, right?
Cow refers to a
No, it-
female.
No, it doesn't. A
Can
cow.
I Google it?
No,
You're just
a,
being too pragmatic
a,
about
ca-
this, though.
a
Like the-
cow is a cow.
You would never
A-
look at a
a-
bull
a
and say
bull-
that's a cow.
A bull is a cow.
I think you guys are talking past each other.
No one would
What?
ever look at a bull and say that's a cow. That's
Yes,
my
they
point.
would. Like, look at that cow.
You think?
No farmer
Are you?
or
s-
person from a rural area would
you
look at a
stupid?
bull and say that's a cow.
I'm from a rural area.
Yeah, they would.
No.
A cow is the name of the animal.
bulls.
A
They're
bull is just a
bulls.
I think
clarifier of
bulls,
the gender.
steers, and heifers pretty much are the
Bulls,
three types
steers,
and heifers.
Heifers.
yes, and heifers are females.
Yes.
And all of those three
Specifically,
things are cows. This
a
is now
specific
your
kind of
most
female.
controversial opinion.
Yeah,
Sure, but
yours.
cows
This is
cows
stupid.
refer to females the majority of the time.
No.
I'll
That's because
die on
whenever
that.
that's because whenever your little niece
You're gonna die pretty
or
quick.
nephew starts
Let me pull
drawing a
out the
picture of
Google.
a cow, they just naturally draw a female cow.
Let me pull out the Google.
Nobody wants to draw
I'm not gonna
a
actually
penised
Google it.
bull. They want to draw an uddered cow, a
I'm not gonna
female
actually
cow.
Google it.
No, you can't Google it.
I know I
You
can't.
can't Google it. That was the dumbest
You
thing.
know what I
I've ever
hate?
heard
I
you say.
hate when people like you get in an argument about something like is a taco a sandwich or is a hot dog a sandwich, and they're like, let's ask Google. Like,
Not a
that just
sponsor.
ruins the entire conversation.
Yeah.
Just like fine, you want
Like,
to.
wow, we have no debate now.
Well, also the
There's no
majority of
room
the
for
time you're gonna
growth.
pull up the first thing that pops up on Google and be like, "That's it.
Yeah,
PBS.org
it's
says
it's ridiculous.
It's a .org. It's a .gov."
Like people before we had friggin' the internet in our pockets, people would get in these conversations and then they would just have to figure it out. And that was like most of human history. And for the past 10 years, we've just short circuited that.
by
and
the way,
ruined conversation.
a hot dog is not a sandwich. A hot dog is a taco.
I think, well, I did the opposite.
Gosh darn.
When they
it.
asked me if what a hot dog was a sandwich, I said yeah, and so is spaghetti.
What?
I don't
How
actually,
is
I don't actually believe that. But
Oh,
it's
I was
just,
like, please connect those dots because I can't.
well, you know, spaghetti is like a grain-based substance, like bread, and in between all the noodles is sauce. So it's just like a very convoluted, messed up sandwich. That was my argument.
It's a terrible argument.
It's
Well,
just a
people say,
messy
like-
sandwich.
Like, what's a sandwich? And
But,
I was like,
I mean-
well, a sandwich is like stuff in between two like grain-based things.
That
like the
I
most
would-
basic things we'll say.
I
Like,
would
that's
agree.
That's spaghetti.
The only difference that I would, or the only thing I would add, detail that I would add to that is that the two bread-based components have to be separated. Which, because they're joined typically on a hot dog, unless they are separated, but if they remain joined, you have a taco.
Yeah, spaghetti is separated.
Because a taco is one single thing. Well, it's not, like
Unless you're eating one noodle spaghetti like Lady and the Tramp.
ideally.
With who?
My boy.
Yeah. don't get your mustaches velcroed together.
They get, yeah, they get,
That is so weird to me.
they get tangled.
You saying that just like that just made me cringe physically.
Oh gosh, you get
Velcroed
man.
together.
you get somebody with straight hair like mine. You get somebody with like really thick curly mustache hair. I don't know if that would, is that how Velcro works?
So,
Can't
what's
look it up.
yours? What's your controversial?
I think I have a controversial opinion about every single thing. But if I had to pick one
Yeah,
right
you
now
hate
for your
straws.
viewers, I do hate straws, yes. But I think that's whatever.
He told me they
I think
drive
that
us from
so
God.
here's one. I think that cars, the existence of cars is a net detriment to
The
human-
film?
to human flourishing.
The film,
No. The thing out in the parking lot right now.
the thing you drove to get here,
Yeah.
not the horse and buggy that you use on the weekends.
No. I think cars are a net detriment to society. Not to
Not because of the-
human flourishing.
I'm assuming not because of carbon emissions.
That's part of it, but it's like a minor
Really?
part of it. Like yeah,
That's in your argument. Wow, I'm
I
surprised.
mean, no, it's not in the argument. It's just like an added bonus.
Why?
Fun fact:
Why?
Explain.
they make us lazy.
Cars take what used to be like a cohesive community and they split it up. So you live in one place and you work in another place 20 miles away.
Right.
And then you go to the grocery store in another place 20 miles away. And then you go do entertainment things at another, like these bubbles of like a region that you just have to go to do things. In a pre-car society, all of those bubbles were like right out your front door. And so your transit time, you're not saving time. Cars do not save you any time. In fact, I would argue that the amount of time that you spend making money to spend on the mode of transportation to get you to the place that makes you the money Like you spend so much time working to pay for your car that you would have so much more free time if it just didn't exist.
So you're saying by
Think
making
about
our
think about
communities
the
further
cost
spread apart.
that yeah, so they destroy communities. Like I don't know anything about the person at the grocery store other than her name is Francine. Like
Shout
I
out to
don't know her.
Francine.
Shout out to Francine. Thank you.
Hey, get a little
But like
closer.
yeah, yeah. Microphone's up too.
I don't I don't know any of my neighbors' names.
That's yeah, like
I've been
that's
stared at by them a few times.
the ability to not know any of your neighbors' names is an anomaly within human history. Like if you were a person that didn't know your neighbors, that would mean that you were probably on the verge of death before like the 1950s.
What?
You can't live as an isolated person not knowing the people next door to you.
Yeah, people have
Now
more
you can.
independency
Now you
nowadays.
can.
Yeah.
But once upon a time you couldn't. So there's a city that we work in, and there's a very wide 6-lane road that cuts right through the middle of that city. And nobody likes that city because the city has nothing in it. Now, the
What?
reason that city is such a desolate wasteland is because there's a 6-lane highway cutting right through the heart of the community. So at one point in time, that community was a cohesive unit. You know, people could walk to downtown. Now, it's
Split.
destroyed. Yeah,
What is
it's destroyed. The entire.
What is he talking
I'm talking. I'm talking about downtown Newport News, Virginia. Like, do you want to walk around downtown Newport News, Virginia right now?
about?
No. Did you know?
No. It's violent.
Did you know that the place that you currently park in downtown Newport News, Virginia, used to be 2 different movie theaters, of which there were 6 total on that road?
6 theaters?
Yes,
where we park.
where we park, and those just buildings, those buildings that don't have fronts to them.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
What?
it used to be a town.
How did you find that out?
He grew up there.
Oh,
I googled it. I googled it
you
Don't you-
Googled it.
because I'm like,
I
nope.
can't disprove any of this or prove.
Well, you can look up photographs of it, and it used to just be a place, a place that looked like a nice place, and now it's just disgusting. And I think,
It's a concrete jungle now.
yeah, no, I don't know. There's so many examples across the United States of towns that have been destroyed by the interstate system.
The
Like,
the town that I'm in, it's right now what it is. It's like maybe I think the population it's a town, but it's literally population of like I don't know 80 people I think total. And in the heart of the town by the municipal building is a little sign, and on the back of the sign is a map of what the town used to be in the 1920s. And to your point, it used to be like a railroad town, uh, and they have mapped out like all the city had or whatever, what the town had. There used to be right now it's literally 80 people and it's all just houses. There's nothing else in it. It's just houses. What it used to be was a railroad station, a uh a factory, like inside the town. There was a postal office, there was a bakery, there was a barber shop. Um, I don't know. There was like pretty much everything that you would expect a town to have, like all within the town that I live in now. And now, if I need to get to anything, if I need to get to the nearest grocery store is like 15 minutes away. The nearest Walmart is an hour away. The grocery store's overpriced, so just gotta suck it up.
yeah,
But
To-
pretty much everything is an hour away from where I live.
To be
whereas
fair, you chose to live there.
I'm not complaining
sure,
about
but
it.
like, what about you?
I'm saying in the
I chose
past,
to live here.
I'm saying in the
Yeah,
past it used to be like he said,
How far away?
cohesive. It used
How
to
far
be
away
all
do you
there.
have to go to get to a grocery store from here?
Grocery store. I've got like 4 or 5 different options within 10 minutes. Each
Okay,
one,
okay.
depending on what I want to do. I usually go to A nearby Kroger. Not a
Mhm.
sponsor.
Yeah. So if you lived in a pre-car society or a society that is modern, that
Right.
modernized without the use of cars, they would all still be 10 minutes away, but they would be
It'd be
free
10
to
minutes
transit. It'd be
walking
all you
distance.
would need is feet to get there.
Yeah, but think about how much I'd have to carry back.
Horse and
I
buggy.
mean, maybe not me, like buying my own groceries for myself, but families. I feel like you'd have to buy. You'd
Yeah,
have
but
to.
people also took more trips. Like this wasn't like oh
Yeah.
you go shopping once a week. It was
All
like
the time that you currently
had
spend
to.
at work paying for the car to go to the grocery store, you could just spend that time going to the grocery store more.
My car's basically paid off.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not. You pay
The only thing I pay for is gas.
gas and maintenance. Well, there's more than gas. There's
I don't
also
pay
the
for maintenance.
Taxes too.
What am I maintaining?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
what if the thermostat goes out on your coolant system?
Thermostat?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is another problem with cars. Is like
What are you
this
talking?
didn't used to be a problem, but it's become one. Where we own these machines that we know nothing about.
Not a single thing.
Like
He doesn't.
it's insane.
I really don't.
Yeah.
I get my oil changed by somebody else.
I've tried to convince him to come over
No,
to change the
I
oil,
refuse.
and he thinks
It's too
the
com-
oil
it's too
changing
complicated.
the
Clearly, I've-
freaking shop has some magic trick that they do
Mhm.
it different than how I would do it or how he would do it.
Clearly, I have the money to pay for it. So why would I not just stimulate the economy and get somebody who knows what they're doing to do it?
Because you're stimulating a lazy economy.
Economy. Yeah, my economy is not lazy. They're doing work. They're buying the oil. They're putting the oil in. They're even recycling or disposing of the old oil that they took out.
Yeah, but you're reliant on someone else to
I'm
work on
not
something that you
reliant.
own.
I'm not reliant. I could learn.
You absolutely are.
I mean, you are reliant. You're
could
reliant on
learn.
people like acquiring the oil. Like I guess a good example for this is back to farming.
Well, we're all reliant.
In a
Do you know how to pump your own oil?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not accusing you of something I'm not also like a part of. You know, I live in the same world and I have a car.
We live in a
right?
society.
Yeah, we have to have cars. The society's built that way now. But the farming aspect of it. So, once upon a time, people farmed and they used animals as part of the farming. Animals were necessary to farm.
Right?
To
Oxen,
ox, cows, whatever.
bulls,
To pull, yeah, sure, bulls,
female cows.
steers, heifers, whatever.
Yep.
They relied on animals in this codependency to like operate the farm, and they had to feed the animals, and the animals were the producers of the fertilizers for the farm.
Right? Cow's poop.
So tractors were introduced, and when the tractor gets introduced, it does the work that the animals used to do. And now the farmer has to pay for this machine that he now owns,
right?
and he has no use for the animals anymore. So they go away because why do I like if my main thing is to farm wheat, what do I need a cow for? I got a tractor, a combine, this big huge monstrosity of a piece of equipment. And
Pretty awesome.
once the cow goes away, well, now your fertilizer goes away. So you're not only dependent on the big network for gas for your combine, or diesel presumably, you're also dependent on chemical fertilizers that we have to like create. I don't know how they make that stuff and where it comes from and what it does to
manure.
the soil, but like just the absence, the replacement of a cow
We also found out during
with a tractor had way more ramifications than just like. Now, sure, you could farm way more and make way more money, but that way more money that you're making is now being spent on this expensive equipment. So you just come out even at the end.
I mean, we did also have a lot of scientific advances and knowledge about agriculture where we didn't really need fertilizer as much, especially during the discovery of crop rotation. Like after
What do you
crop
mean the
rotation,
discovery of crop rotation?
like during the Dust Bowl, when
so
people did
that's-
not do crop rotation, and
the dis-
we went into a huge Great Depression. If anybody remembers that era,
Yeah, the reason we didn't do crop rotation is because people started about 50 years before that monocropping in big tracts of land with tractors. The idea that we discovered crop rotation in the 1930s is ridiculous because we farmed with crop rotation for thousands of years and then stopped doing it all of a sudden and then realized that was a mistake and then had to figure that out in the 1930s.
Yeah, they did that in Interstellar too.
Yeah, right. I watched that movie like 3 weeks ago. It's such a good movie.
What?
I watched it for the first time like 4
How
months
do we
back.
how do we keep talking about movies that you just watched? Interstellar is very good.
Yeah.
Interstellar is a good
Yeah.
movie.
So
I watched
that's my unpopular opinion. I think cars are a net detriment to
it.
society.
Interstellar is a good movie.
No, that's a eminently popular opinion.
I mean, Cars the movie was good. The
Yeah, I guess
sequels,
without cars, we wouldn't have Cars the movie, and what
That's
would we
true.
do without that?
we'd probably die. We wouldn't have the awesome sequel Planes.
What about trains?
I think
like-
trains. I don't think trains are a detriment. I think trains
What?
are. No, I think trains were the pinnacle of human transportation.
Oh my god.
Maybe
Not
maybe
the,
trains and airplanes.
Not the
'Cause
planes.
Trains and
I was about
airplanes.
to say not the plane.
Yeah, planes, trains, and that's the end of the.
'Cause- 'cause,
Planes, trains, and feet.
what about ships? Without ships, like we really
Ships have
wouldn't
been
have.
ships have been around for so long; they're not even part of the discussion, really.
Yeah, he
They need
said
to be.
Yeah.
he said trains and planes are the pinnacle. So like everything before that was also
Yeah.
included in his
Mm-hmm.
enjoyment of transportation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's
But
kind of weird
a
to
lot
think
of-
that a massive ship does predate, a smart car.
Like the Titanic, you mean?
Yeah. I don't know why my brain just realized that, but like
The Titanic's
like-
beautiful.
hundreds of tons cruise ships predated this little aluminum plastic 40 miles to the gallon meant for
It's better than
3
that.
people car. Is it?
Yeah,
Smart
I
car
think
better
it's
than
like
that?
60 miles to the gallon or
I don't
something
know.
ridiculous.
Don't look at it.
The engines that are in these
So
small
that's
cars
kind of incredible when you think about
burn
it.
out so fast.
I wouldn't know. I drive Japanese.
They'll blow up at about like 100,000 miles.
What do you mean blow up?
Your gas get blown. Anything.
They'll detonate.
My
That's
aunt
when this clock starts ticking.
my aunt was the first person in my hometown to get a smart car,
Mm-hmm.
and she became very popular, like famous in my hometown whenever she did that.
Oh my goodness, look at this smart
It's like,
car.
oh, it's one of those smart cars. Like whenever they had those commercials everywhere about the new smart car. Gets like 50 miles to the gallon.
I don't remember the commercial.
Oh, I don't remember like the commercial, but I remember a lot of people be like, what
Some
kind
of those little
vehicle
things
is
with like
that?"
2 seats in it.
Yeah,
Those really
it's-
tiny things.
It's like
Yeah.
that yellow and red thing that kids use, but it's like upscale.
Wait a minute. No,
The yellow
our
red car.
workplace, when you go out of the parking garage and there's one always parked like right across the street.
A smart car?
Always. I mean, not recently, actually, within the past couple weeks, but for literal like a year straight, it was parked in the same spot. When you'd walk out of that parking garage, like right across the street.
My aunt's is yellow.
You not know what I'm talking about?
It's yellow and black.
yeah, but
looks
what?
like a bumblebee.
Yeah, but what about it?
Oh, I thought you were asking like,
I don't know
what
what
does
you're
it look
talking
like?
about.
I know what a smart car looks like. The
Oh.
little 2-seater things.
yeah, okay.
He's
Well, you were
just-
asking like the description, like is that that
No.
little 2-seater thing?
Gosh, get with the times.
You saw it
Brandon.
every day.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, it's gone now.
It's gone. That's the sound it makes.
Yeah, the car thing is like, yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I think it's pretty unpopular. I think most people, left or right, would disagree with me. I think people on the left would say like, yeah, combustion. And I'm like, no, not just that. More like
Even the electric kind.
More. You
Yeah,
got
rid of 'em.
your brains are melted
Like,
because
parking lots. Like every parking lot is ugly. I don't want to walk.
I like asphalt
a-
fields. I'm gonna
No,
get to my Home Depot.
That the spread out like how you're talking about how everything's spread out now. Like that's how I feel about like because of social media and because of like the accessibility of information through like cell phones or computers or whatever, like that is what we're focused on rather than focusing on problems within the community and like voting on people within the community. Like our thoughts are on the whole the whole country scale. Like our thoughts are always on the politics of what's happening in California, what's happening on the federal level, rather than literally trying to affect change within the community that you live in and
Mm.
like voting in the local elections. Like the amount of people that have admitted to me that they don't vote in local elections,
Or
like
they
it's just like mind blowing.
or they do vote, but they just like Christmas tree it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who these people are. They don't matter.
Oh, that's an opinion I can say that's probably unpopular.
Oh, let me do
That is not like uh
That's him. That's
streamlined.
him.
Taking party names off of ballots. I don't think Republican, Democrat, Green Party, it shouldn't be on the ballot when you go to vote. I think
Yeah,
it should be just the name.
I don't agree with you on that.
I think it should be just the name of the person, and then that way you have to do research if you actually want your person to win. I mean, and then also the people that don't research at all and just go in and vote randomly are going to balance each other out because a bunch of people voting randomly will, by nature, statistically balance each other out and cancel each other out.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think the way we are right now, there's just too much to know. Like,
Oh, there is. There absolutely is.
I'm not going to research everybody that's on a ballot.
Well,
Just because there's, yeah.
it's not even that there's that many people on a ballot, though. It's like
There's just,
we are like we're so flooded with information. Like we have so much information from all these other things. Like when the thought of like an election coming up and us having to research like 5 or 6 people is like daunting to us because we're like, oh my gosh. Like I have to do another thing on top of keeping up with the news every day. I don't know. I don't think it's that much effort, I guess.
I do think, at least, I don't know if this is probably not controversial with the current group of people here, but I think that you should use voter ID in order to vote, or you should present ID when you vote.
ID should definitely be presented.
And I did not realize for years that that was not standard.
I agree. Yeah.
I was
I
very
didn't realize that either. It's
Yeah, I
like
was very surprised to
that
find
seems
out
pretty
that you could
basic.
just go in and vote without any sort of identification. Like if I need one to drive, I should need one to vote for the people that are going to run the country.
He has to relight it.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
this one, like I said, it has a bad draw. Well, like I said, it has a bad draw.
Why don't you just throw
What?
your things in
Are
there?
you scared of it causing a fire?
No, I'm
My
trying. I
match-
want him to cause a fire.
My matchsticks,
Yeah.
they're not gonna light that.
I specifically want you to start a fire.
I thought you were about to accuse me of littering by throwing a piece of wood on a pile of
I'm
wood.
ticked. You better not do that again. You better not do that again.
Why are you against having party names on ballots?
I like knowing who I'm voting for.
Yeah, look it up. That's the problem.
I don't vote in Virginia.
I feel like voting just party name is wrong.
I vote for my hometown. I don't vote here. When I can. I don't think I'm allowed to vote in every election where I came from.
I think a lot of
But that's where
people
I'm
would
registered.
agree with the sentiment that a two-party system sucks.
I love
I
a
don't think
two-party
they'd
system.
agree with me for the same reason, but
I think the less options there are, the better.
you are
A
so
one-party
wrong.
system.
Do what?
A one-party system.
If it's the right party.
Yeah.
If it's the wrong party, you
There's
just,
a country just north of South Korea. Though.
Yeah,
you
wanna go there.
just overthrow it.
Yeah, there's also a big country in Asia. You can go to that one too. One party there.
North Korea?
No, big country.
China?
Yeah.
Here's an unpopular opinion
I-
that I'm almost afraid to share.
I thought you wanted to say Russia, which is why I said China. Now I wish I didn't.
Russia's democratic.
Whoa, Democratic People's Republic of China. What's up?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Now you
All
said
right.
it.
Rest in peace, Taiwan.
I'm not pro or against this, but I am okay
Uh-huh.
with a. It's very late, and I'm not remembering basic words.
Take your time.
What's the word where like you pass something on to your children?
Inheritance?
Like passed down.
I'm okay. I'm okay with a system in which I don't vote for my leader. They are just the son or daughter of the previous leader.
A monarchy?
Yeah, a monarchy, but specifically a monarch. Yeah,
Like not a meritocracy. Not an oligarchy. Shoot, I don't remember the word for it either. It's just like an heir to the throne.
yeah. I'm not totally against a mixed form of government in which we don't vote for a president, like what England has. I would be fine in England.
That's just a monarchy.
Yeah, I know it's a monarchy, but I was looking for a specific qualifying word for it.
I think it might be oligarchy the more I think
No,
about
it's
it.
not an oligarchy. An oligarchy is like where a few people who aren't elected rule,
I thought it was
which is
when,
more or less what we already live
I
in.
thought an oligarchy was when a group of people that are usually related rule. Like a family.
Not necessarily.
Like Saudi Arabia, I
Not-
think is an oligarchy.
Man,
It
Google would
could
be
be.
really
It
nice
could be,
right
but it's
now.
not necessarily.
No, we got to see how ignorant we are.
Whatever,
Whenever
whatever.
we look it up. It's gonna drive me nuts until I think of that word.
So
You're okay with that?
I'm okay with that. Like, and the reason for it is because when we elect a supreme leader, I'm not like, whatever. When we elect a leader,
Supreme leader.
well, that's what it is. What the president is.
Dang.
He's the guy that like is the head of the state. When we elect him, we're always electing from a pool of people that ran for that office, and so we're always kind of getting the same type of person, which is somebody who is super ambitious to hold that office.
Ideally charismatic.
Yeah, normally charismatic. And when somebody's just born into it, it's almost more democratic in the sense that they don't have to be that type of person. They're just thrown into it, thrown to the wolves.
Yeah, but throughout history, that's like produced some of the worst leaders ever. Some of the best too, but some of the worst ever.
Hitler was elected.
Hitler was appointed, which is different. I don't think Hitler was actually elected.
I've noticed that
Yeah, he
is
was
always.
elected.
I've noticed that is the response of like you point to like the worst monarchies and then hold it up to like the idyllic democracy. But if you compared apples to apples, I think they're probably the same.
I don't think so because, first of all, I don't think Hitler was actually elected, if I remember right. I think he was appointed by a grouping, and then
he ran. It was the what the
no,
All right, so
he was
fine.
German
His
nationalist.
his party was elected.
yeah,
Yeah.
his party,
Yeah, he was appointed by his party.
which is a party,
The
Sure.
social what is it?
the National Socialist Party.
Yeah,
But then when he became Chancellor of Germany,
German
He-
Workers' National
Yeah.
Socialist Party.
then he like appointed himself as Supreme Chancellor, if I think is what it translates to.
Sure.
But I mean, the same like most of the Roman Empire did the same thing, and the Romans had some of the worst leaders ever, and they were just offspring of each other, like Nero, Caligula.
yeah, sure.
uh,
There's bad monarchs. I would not dispute that. And it's luck of the draw. And there's
Kim Jong Un,
mm-hmm.
the son of what's his name, Kim Jong Il.
Mm-hmm.
They're all related.
Yeah.
And they are probably the worst people to appoint.
Sure. And there's ways to swap out the regime.
I'm just saying if you're a family and unless your lineage is like inherently good, eventually your ego is going to get the best of your offspring and they're going to realize, or not realize, but they are going to think about themselves that they are significantly better than the rest of the people they rule over.
Yeah, that's a risk. I don't disagree.
I think it's almost a guarantee.
Well, no, I don't think so. You could. I don't think so.
I
I
mean,
think
given
it's a
enough time,
risk.
it's gonna happen.
It's a risk. The same way electing the most egotistical person in the population is equally a
Yeah,
risk.
but on the bright side, I only have to deal with him for max or her for a max of 8 years.
So you're in favor of
No,
term limits.
because the next person
Yeah.
after that is going to be the same type of person. There's very few people that are like, I don't like George Washington was like, oh, I don't really want to do this job, but like the people want me to, you know. Most people are like the ambition
I want to do this job.
is
And
like,
then, yeah.
yeah. This is not
You
a
don't run
like I
if you
said,
don't want to do it.
I'm arguing stronger than I actually feel right now, but this is an opinion that I'm okay with.
Oh my gosh.
That's probably more unpopular than cars in America.
Yeah, I like term limits, especially in Congress and the Senate or the
well,
House.
like it seems like you're arguing more in favor of term limits than like keeping it in the family.
What? Yeah, I am.
Okay.
What do you mean? Was
Like
I
your
was I hinting otherwise?
your mind is more focused on term limits, like
Yeah.
keeping one person in power too long. But like
Not too
you
long.
can keep it in a family and not like have them for life. Roll.
Sometimes. But I would argue that in
I
today's
wouldn't say I'm
society,
in
if we
favor.
did that, they would be in power for significantly longer than anybody throughout history. Because even the Romans, who had one of the longest standing empires, their emperors, I mean, they didn't live full lives almost ever.
Mm-hmm.
Even the best ones didn't live full lives because they were eventually assassinated. I don't think you could really do that nowadays, especially if you have that much power, you can afford that much security. It's very difficult to assassinate a bad king that has that would be running today. I mean, there are many countries that I'm willing to bet if the US or other countries were able to actually pull it off, there are a lot of leaders that would not still be alive. It's a hard-hitting topic.
Yeah, it's actually not a topic I'm not educated enough to really make a principled argument against, but I'm sympathetic towards it.
I mean, think about it, how many people have been like legitimately assassinated in the past. I mean, what Kennedy was the last president to get assassinated, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's your point?
I don't know any other world leaders that have been assassinated besides Kennedy, and that was over 70 years ago,
So like
or that was almost 70 years ago,
60, but okay.
as
almost 70.
as it is right now, you
Almost
say you
100.
like a two-party system.
Oh,
As it is right now, you
I
are
also-
not voting for an individual, you are voting for the party.
Yeah, I also
One of two.
I also openly do not like change, and this is what I'm used to. So, so that
Mhm.
too.
Yeah, a lot of I think that would be a lot of people's argument. But
I-
they also want change in the country and they
No,
want it to be better.
I don't like growing pains.
You want the
and
country to be better.
I
You are
do
not
want the country to
happy
be
with
better.
the country the way it is right now.
I wouldn't say that. I would say
You wouldn't say that?
I would say there are aspects with the country that I think could do with some improvement. However, I think the growing pains associated with enacting that change would ultimately be worse, at least in the short term. And the short term really just affects our lives.
What are your thoughts on capitalism?
I love capitalism.
You love it?
Love it.
What do you love about it?
I love the idea that I can exchange goods and services with money. Sorry, exchange money for goods and services.
Capitalism isn't just focused on like money though.
Yeah.
Like capitalism can be exchanging a good for a good, just in general.
Well, that's a barter system, which
No,
isn't technically capitalism.
I would agree with him on that. I think capitalism is dependent on a
It's
monetary
inherently
system.
dependent on a specific currency that you're trading.
capitalism.
That's why it's
I mean,
called the barter system.
it's good enough, right, for what we have.
I
Like,
don't think barter system and capitalism are on the same. They're not the same descriptors. Like they're not they're not equal
Exchanging
as a descriptor.
exchanging a
When
good for a good is a barter. Exchanging currency for goods and services is capitalism. Either way,
Yeah.
you are trading something for something else.
Capitalism is
Yes.
That's what makes them in
capitalism,
common.
something for something else,
No.
something for a
That's what
currency, doesn't
that's
matter.
what you're doing, but the
Something
currency aspect of it.
for this bank to say like, oh, they're good for that. It doesn't
Uh,
even have to be a currency. It can be a debt.
what do you mean?
It could be like
Like an IOU,
it's not even currency
This
half
is
the
better than
time.
money. These are
a
IOUs.
credit.
Yeah, yeah. You're trading a credit. It's not even a currency half the time, or 3/4 of the time.
Yeah, it's like I think the statistic I read was over 80% of U.S. currency is electronic. What is happening with my phone?
I can throw that in the James
Oh,
River for
sorry.
you if you want me to.
No, don't do that. I don't know James or his rivers.
All right, so capitalism.
Jimmy Rivs, love it.
What were
So
you saying? Yeah.
yeah, that is one aspect of capitalism that is not exclusive to capitalism.
What do you mean? What aspect?
The ability to trade goods and services for money is not exclusive to capitalism. Capitalism is an aspect of it. True.
I think like the actual thing is that capitalism is funded by like a central bank. But without looking that up, I can't
No, you're
I can't prove it. I can't
A
put a
central
lot of
bank.
yeah, we have a
There
central
wasn't
bank.
there wasn't a central bank until like the 1830s,
well. Capitalism is an idea.
and capitalism was
Started with the wealth of nations,
yeah, but
which is not that
well,
much older.
uh, I don't think capitalism started with the wealth of nations.
What do you think it started with? The first time somebody traded something for something else?
I
With
think
currency.
capitalism was already in place, like at the start of this country. The wealth of nations wasn't until
I distinguish in my mind between free trade, which is the ability to enter into an economic contract with another private entity. That's free trade. Capitalism is what we have currently, kind of, where a large portion of the population sell their labor to people that own capital. Capital is the thing, not just money, but the capital is the thing that produces stuff. So one guy has all this capital as his private property. A bunch of people don't have the capital, but what they do have is the ability to sell their bodies for a quote unquote piece of the pie. That's kind of what we're living in. And that's what socialists take qualms with most of the time. They don't take qualms with me going to my neighbor and trading a cup of sugar for whatever the heck I have, some tomatoes or money.
the government has a problem with that.
Hmm?
They want to
Yeah,
tax
they
that.
got to tax that.
That's why you can't collect rainwater in California.
I don't think you can collect rainwater on a lot of places.
You can't, which is weird.
Stupid.
I should be able to collect my own rainwater.
You know, in a pre-capitalistic economy, taxes could be paid with more than just money, which is crazy to us now. But like,
I mean that was like no. I'm thinking of Shays Rebellion, but that was specifically like the state's bank that they owed money. So that was a currency. I take that back.
capitalism as it exists is also dependent on everything being considered private property.
I like that. It's
Yeah,
your stuff.
like
It's my stuff.
yeah, I think having private property is good, but having everything in existence being some sort of commodity, the commodification of all aspects of life is an aspect of capitalism that I'm not a big fan of.
You don't like the fact that anyone that could make something good enough that you'd want to pay for it is a good thing. I think that kind of thinking promotes a lot of innovation.
Like cars.
Yeah, like cars.
Are are you talking about like more public things?
Kind of, but even public things as we understand them are still private. It's the private property of the government as a person.
Mhm.
So like the park is like a public thing.
Yeah.
But I can't go to the park and plant a tomato garden.
Right.
Right, that's not your land.
That's right, because everything is private property. And so in a back in the day, the large swaths of land were, you could say, owned by the king or whoever was in charge, but he didn't.
Supreme Chancellor.
Sure, but he didn't enclose it off from most people. So, like land in Europe historically
What?
was what?
I don't think that's true.
It's true.
You said the king would not close it off to his people?
That is true.
I don't think that's true.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure like
Enclosure was this event that occurred in England shortly after the King Henry VIII defected from Rome. But what he did is he said, all right, all land is now owned by the king exclusively. You can't hunt on it without permission. You can't grow stuff on it without permission. You can't graze animals on it without permission. It was this event called enclosuring, the enclosuring of England. And before that, people could just use the land, like communally, for all kinds of purposes to like ensure their livelihood. Nowadays, you can't use the land for much more than having a picnic on.
you're saying before King Henry VIII, all of England that was owned by him was a communal garden.
That might be putting it too simply, but
I love simple.
similar to that. It's called the commons is the formal name for this type of land. Common land was land that
Common communal.
Yeah,
That's why you were a commoner.
yeah. That's why you were a commoner. That's
Oh no.
no, you're right.
We were never a commoner.
Well, you weren't. You're old money.
A commoner was somebody who
Ancient.
relied on the commons
Ancient.
for their livelihood. And then once it went away and you couldn't do that anymore, well, now what do? I have no ability to graze my sheep. Well, I guess I have to sell my sheep and go work for Mr. McGillicuddy in his textile mill in order to make my livelihood.
Yeah, that wouldn't get invented for 100 more years.
Yeah. I mean, you're right,
But as humans, though, like we tend to step on each other's feet a lot. So, like, the idea of private property, like, helps keep that from happening. I would say.
Yeah, if everything belongs to everybody, you are going to do what's best for you. But if it's your stuff, I can't do anything about that. Like, it's your stuff. Especially if you've got, government backing. Basically, people with guns that are pointed at me that say, hey, you're
Sure,
not going to touch his things.
if we're positing a society in which everybody wants to make the common thing their personal thing, it's nice to have the government say, no, you can't just do that.
All
But
right.
yeah, I'm all right.
It was a big one.
But it's that Gin Fizz coming back.
I had better up than down.
I don't know, I forgot where I was. Whatever.
Yeah, it's getting late.
It is getting late. I will end this by saying I am not a socialist. I am not a
early.
capitalist. I don't know what I am.
Yeah.
I critique a lot of things.
That's like going through, I don't know, like high school is whatever, you don't really learn that much. You get the basics, and then you go through college, and I thought I'd be more sure of things coming out the other side of college. And I just finished my bachelor's degree. And on the other side of it, I'm just like, I'm more unsure of things now than I was coming into this.
Really?
Absolutely.
Going through college, I think it just solidified me more.
There's so many ideas,
Could
and
be.
there's so many different ways
He
of
made it.
tackling things. I don't know. If you think there's one right way of everything, I just think you're wrong.
Wow. Thanks.
I'm sure there is a best way, but are humans like really capable of like figuring out the ultimate best way?
I think we're capable of figuring it out. I don't think we're capable of doing it for long periods of time.
Yeah, sure. That's fair.
I think
I mean, we've also been told, I'd say, right ways of doing things, but humans, we don't follow it. So even having the instructions right in front of us,
Mm-hmm.
we won't follow it. So I don't know. College did like solidify some things and made me sure of some things, but like things I thought I was sure of, like big questions. Like I was hardcore democracy, like I was all pro US or whatever, and I'm like, wow, our government's like the best. And then I there was one book in particular that just like made me question everything. It's specifically it's a Christian book, and it's talking about the authority of Jesus and the kingship of Jesus, and how our governments, like every government established in the Bible, was per, like particularly like a monarchy almost. Like there was a king, and that's how it was. And then the king listened to Jesus, like put Jesus first or put God first.
sounds more like a theocracy.
Um, yeah, but you still had a head of government. There was a king established.
Well, yeah,
And
theocracies have a head of
if
government.
that is the way that, you know, the Bible presents it, and how the early church and the church before the early church always presented it, then is that the proper way? And how our government should be formed now? Should it be a monarchy, or should there be a king rather than a freaking three-headed government? I don't know.
I
That
think,
book made me question
yeah,
everything.
I think what you can learn from all this stuff is that the type of government, whether it's a successful government or an unsuccessful government, is not dependent on the structure of the government. It's dependent on the virtue of the polity, the populace, the people.
I don't know that
If the
word.
people are good, the government will be good.
What's a polity?
Apollos,
Yeah. Pol-
the people,
the
we the
people. The
people.
people.
What about it?
Yeah, it's
If
dependent
the
on the
people are
people.
good, the government, whether it's a monarchy or a democracy or some sort of mix, will be good. And if the people are bad, no amount of government structure will make it good.
And that's why we won the war.
Which one?
You
The
know
revol-
damn well which war.
The revolution.
They not to derail us, but they found the shooter in
Oh,
Maine.
crap. Hey, hold on.
What?
You know the Maine shooting that happened?
No.
I just saved your life.
Really?
Yeah.
You had a spider crawling on
In
you.
a small town called Lewiston
It's a
in Maine,
spider.
north of Portland, there was
The
a
shooting
lone
that just happened?
there was a lone gunman. He
think-
went into a restaurant in a bowling alley.
I think 18
And
people died.
18 people are dead. 18 counts of murder. I can't remember. I think there's like
Did
30
they
injured.
arrest him or did they kill him?
No,
So-
they're still looking for him, if I'm not mistaken.
You
I
just said
was
they
I was
found him.
just saying that they found him.
Oh.
He self-inflicted gunshot wound at a place he used to work, an old scrapyard or something. It's been multiple days though. Like they just found him tonight. This being Friday night, but they just found his body, and this happened on Wednesday or whatever. So it's been 2 days.
Those stories always
That they
make
were
me.
a
they
nightmare.
locked people inside of their houses. They're like don't go out. Like there's an armed dangerous man running around. Yeah, those stories make me freaking like I don't know how someone can do like I want to know his reasoning because it scares me if there's not a reasoning that he did it.
Well, that's not the part that scares me. Like, if I get shot by some random lunatic, oh well, there's
It
really nothing I can do about
it's
that.
not me that I'm worried about, or it's not. I'm sure it's not you that you're worried about, but like if you're with your loved ones, that's what I'm worried about.
Well, the thing I'm
If I'm
more
out bowling and they come in and start shooting up the place, and I'm with a child and my wife, and I don't have my gun. We can talk about guns.
well, I'm naturally paranoid, like as a person in general. Like, you know how I am. I'm very big into security and not letting someone else get the upper hand. But for like somebody that goes out, kills a bunch of people, and then if from his own accord winds up somewhere and shoots himself and commits suicide, that my brain naturally goes to, why would he commit suicide after killing all these people? Like, I know like the logical reason why, but you're not dealing with a logical person at this point. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
was it actually him, or was this orchestrated by somebody else for some strange reason? Which always makes me uneasy because I don't like to think about that, but my brain naturally goes to, why else would he do it other than somebody else or something else pressuring him to do it? Which is what I don't like.
Why would
I think all of us are capable of such things when you push us
But the
to.
the thing that would drive me to do it would have to be very big.
I'm sure it was very big.
And I don't like imagining the thing that was very big.
or nothing drove him to it, and he's a crazy person
Yeah, but being so
because you have to be freaking crazy to do
being
something
that
Yeah.
like this.
dismissive is like, I would
Why does
rather
it?
explore what else it could have been other than just, oh yeah, he was insane. You know?
Because I'm pretty sure this guy didn't have like loved ones. Like he wasn't protecting anything if someone was threatening and to like kill
Well,
himself or know he was going to be killed on the other end of it. Like why would you
well,
even do it in the
just
first
just to
place?
think about it, that's the perfect patsy. Is the guy that nobody cares about. That anything can be blamed on at any time, any point.
Yeah, but what would they entice him to do that with?
Exactly. I don't know.
Yeah, nothing.
What if it's
What are you going to do? Like threaten innocent lives? Go kill those innocent lives or I'm going to kill these guys. Like
sometimes it can be an
same
idea.
thing. I don't know. I don't think that's the case. And this guy's a nut job. And I wish someone would have freaking shot him sooner. Someone in that bowling alley, if only they had a gun.
Yeah, but then you'd be in the same spot. We wouldn't know why he did it.
Well, yeah, I mean, we don't know why he did it now.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I think he left a note they were saying yesterday, but I haven't
Mhm.
heard anything of it.
There's always a note.
You freaking conspiracy.
Just think about it. I mean, there literally is always a note.
Well,
Guy does horrible action. Can't find guy, or guy shoots himself right then and there, and then somehow there's always a record left behind by guy. And then it's like, why would a person who is illogical to the point that they're going to just shoot a bunch of people for seemingly no reason, then do the logical course of action of, hey, I'm going to kill myself, but here's a note to let you know the exact reasonings. If I go out and do something crazy, I guarantee I'm not leaving a note. Because like, why would I? It's a
I don't know if you
complete
can say
waste of
that.
time.
if
You're
you
crazy.
if you have a message, the whole reason that you're doing it for a message, then you would leave a note.
Yeah, if you want to be a
Even if
martyr.
it's an insane reason or insane reasoning, you leave a note.
What was his reason?
I don't want to.
I don't
I
know.
don't
I
think we
don't
know
even
that.
know it. Like they found a note, but there was like I haven't heard anything on it, and I don't know if it's been like, oh, it actually isn't his note. I don't know. That was yesterday, and I haven't heard anything about the note since. But they found him dead. So the note wasn't with the body. They found the notes elsewhere.
Exactly.
Can't remember where.
Elsewhere.
But the
Yeah.
note was yesterday. The dead body wasn't found until today. And again, I don't know if the note has been not like unlinked to him since. I'm assuming like they would be posting more or advertising more about like why he did it,
Mm-hmm.
more so than I've seen. I haven't seen a reason why he's done it yet. So I don't know. I don't know if the note was debunked or whatever. That's what I'm saying.
It might just be an evidence type thing. Like they're not going to just release it.
Yeah.
Potentially. I don't know why somebody would do something like that. And I don't want to speculate as to the reason why this particular guy did his particular crime, but it's strange the amount of these types of crimes that have happened really since the 90s. Like the uptick in them is shocking.
Yeah.
And all we're ever talking about is, I mean, this is just I think this is getting to like the standard conservative response, but nobody's asking like what's going on in society, like the loneliness epidemic that people talk about,
I think it's the fluoride in the
or
water.
the idea that people just like are aimless and have nothing to live for, and they're like, I don't know,
Yeah.
but so yeah, I'm not gonna really speculate too much, but
Starting
I think we should ask questions on a societal level of like, how are we structuring society that's causing this to happen so often?
It's starting to get really sad.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know how we come back from that. We have to end on a good note.
We have to end.
If we have to end.
So the
don't know.
plot to the Brave Little Toaster.
so we're just gonna transition now.
Yeah.
Is
Well, hang on.
what?
With with the societal point, like we focus a lot on like the individual, like especially today we focus on like, oh, like how do we increase our individual freedoms, like how do we like push the individual, how do we like make the individual more unique, like how do we celebrate the individual's uniqueness and how independent they are, rather, and the discussion of like humanity, like the progression of humanity and like the morality of humanity in a society, like that discussion isn't brought up anymore. Like there's not like a single course for humanity anymore. It's like everyone is on their own boat and we're all going different directions
Yeah.
rather than everyone going a single direction.
It's
And I think that is where the like the aloneness comes from. Like everyone's supposed to just figure it out on their own. And like you're supposed to be an individual and you're supposed to have your own thing. You're supposed to be unique rather than like, hey, let's all just like work together. Let's all like figure out our morals together. You don't have to be an individual here.
yeah, I think the only thing that society tells you that you certainly are is a consumer. Like you are all consumers first and foremost, and now you just get to decide what it is you will consume. And certain people
So back to
can't,
capitalism.
well,
No, I'm just kidding.
almost in a way. But like certain people are like they never figure it out, and simply being a unit of consumption is just an appalling existence.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the focus on like just the weight of being like you're supposed to tell us who you are is heavy for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like him.
Hi. What's up?
You got any funny jokes?
Any funny anecdotes?
any jokes?
You want to hear a construction joke?
A what?
A construction joke?
Yeah.
Still working on it.
It's weird that you did have that one ready.
You want to hear a
That's
non-offensive?
my go-to every time. I learned that from I don't even know if I can say this, but
What?
I learned that from a mentally handicapped young girl when I was in like middle school.
Why wouldn't you be able to say that?
Because the way I learned it from her was just funny. We were under a tarp.
Was this like a
What?
Something was like a one of those field days where you like went out to the field and like
You ever done the Rainbow Bridge?
the
Like the
Mario
big-
Kart level?
Yeah, though.
I know
Yeah,
what you're
that,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
Parachute
Out,
thing?
yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Out
We're-
out on the field and
Yeah.
field day.
We were inside doing that, and then they were like, "Anybody got any jokes?" She said that one is like that has stuck with me ever since. It's one of the funniest jokes I've ever heard.
What grade?
I don't know. I was probably in 5th grade, I think.
Wow, that stuck with you a long time.
Yeah. And it's like my go-to. Hey, you want to hear a joke? It's like that's the first one I always think of. It's like if I had to tell a joke, that's the one I tell.
You got any jokes?
No.
You don't have any jokes?
Not a single
No.
joke.
Oh, bummer.
No. I can't think of one. Absolutely not.
Well, I'm not going to tell this joke, but I highly recommend you look up
Oh my gosh.
later.
The
What? The moth joke.
The
What?
moth?
Yeah. And it's very late, and I can't remember the name of the man who did it, but oh my
was
gosh.
Bill Burr.
No, it wasn't Bill Burr.
The moth joke. It was Amy Schumer.
The guy that was on Saturday Night Live and used to make fun of
Eddie Murphy.
O.J. Simpson like, incessantly.
Was that Eddie Murphy? That sounds like Eddie Murphy. That would do.
He
that.
played the dog in Doctor Dolittle.
Doctor
The dog?
the dog.
I thought the dog was
it's not Eddie
he
Murphy. He played
passed.
the doctor.
Nor-
didn't
Yeah,
he?
Norm
Norm
Macdonald.
Macdonald. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Norm Macdonald moth joke.
Wait, how the
It's-
heck did he do? Who'd you say he mocked?
Moth.
O.J.
No.
Simpson.
Oh, he
How
mocked.
did he
yeah.
mock O.J. Simpson?
So back in the day,
Oh,
on
yeah.
Saturday Night Live,
Yeah.
he would like give the
He would do the news broadcast.
broadcast, and then he would always throw in there, like, and OJ's guilty.
Oh, okay. I think you said he was like playing O.J.
No,
Simpson.
no.
Like,
He would always
I
make
don't know
fun
how
of
that
him.
would
He would
work.
always make fun of him.
How did Norm Macdonald impersonate O.J. Simpson as a joke?
Dr. Doolittle's are great movies.
Norm Macdonald is one of the funniest.
I love
people
Norm
on
Macdonald.
YouTube.
Rest in
oh my
peace.
gosh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cancer.
He was
Mhm.
an awesome actor, hilarious comedian.
You ever seen it's that Star Trek knockoff show that I cannot remember the name of now. It's wonderful.
Star Wars.
No, it's a different knockoff. It's a different knockoff of Star
Wars.
I
Trek.
don't know if you've seen that movie, Star Wars. It's kind of a
Technically,
I've heard of it.
Star Trek came first.
yeah.
Star Wars was like what 20 years later,
Spaceballs.
or probably 10, 15 years later. I think.
Spaceballs.
No.
Wait, what were you saying
What
about Norman?
Oh, you
the
did the
joke-
moth
the
joke.
Well,
Yeah,
the joke
yeah.
was by Norman.
We're
Macdonald.
past that.
Okay.
We're past it.
I thought we never reached
Catch
the.
up.
I thought we never
Jeez,
reached
No.
the end.
we-
of that.
I'm not gonna tell it because I would do it
Dadgummit.
injustice.
Okay.
But I can tell a very unoffensive joke about Jews. I even
don't know
hesitated.
right now. It's
Why
the
did
right
you-
timing.
Why did you emphasize that about Jews? Such a drawn out.
Are you gonna edit this part out?
That's
It's not offensive.
Uh huh.
Yeah. So this.
Yeah, we're
I'll,
all
I'll
the-
tell. I'll tell it.
we're all the
You can
Semites.
edit me out if you think it's not the right time.
Not the right time.
But-
the climate.
This. So this Jew walks into a bar and
Uh-huh.
he sits down and orders a drink, and across
And what does he say?
There's across the bar there is this Asian man. He's drinking as well. And the
What
Jew's
kind?
looking at him. Stop. And the Jew's just glaring at this Asian guy. And then he gets up and he walks over to the Asian guy and he punches him in the face. The Asian guy's like, "What? What was that for?" And the Jew said, "That was for Pearl Harbor." And the Asian guy's like, "What? I'm Chinese. Those were the Japanese." And the Jewish guy's like, "Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese. What's the difference?" And then he goes and sits back down in his seat and keeps drinking. So this Asian guy gets up, walks over to the Jew, and punches him in the face. The Jew's like, "What was that for?" And the Asian guy's like, "That was for the Titanic." And the Jew's like, "The Titanic? That was an iceberg." And the Asian guy's like, "Iceberg, Goldberg, Steinberg. What's the difference?"
What I don't know why I didn't see that coming. Even after you said iceberg. Well, is that how we're ending it?
I hope not.
Let's hope not. Well, I guess you got to come
Well,
up
I
with a
think
joke
we-
then, don't you?
Can't use Google.
I think it's time to wrap it up. That's how we're
Okay.
ending it.
Sure.
2.5 bad jokes.
Nice.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, it was a pleasure. I would love to do it again sometime.
Excellent.
Make sure I fly first class next time.
Oh
though.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll try to
Yeah,
get
that's
you
right.
Yeah.
second class. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Get you on the private jet.
Oh, the private jet would be nice.
I don't think father would approve.
Okay. Yeah.
Gas prices are expensive.
Okay.
That's how we end it. The gas prices are expensive is the ending of the gas prices are expensive.
You know, planes.
There's a
trains.
big reveal at the end of this podcast. Just wait.
Huge.
All right.
The automobile industry hates him for this one simple trick.
Thank you, Zach Graham, for coming on the podcast. We thoroughly enjoyed having you.
Right, everybody. That was the end of the Zach episode. Zach Attack. Give him love in the comments. Consensually, ideally.
You can tear me up.
Oh, tear him up.
All right.
He's begging for it.
Good night.
All right.
Don't
Well,
forget to like, comment, ideally subscribe.
Butthead.
Everybody have a good time.
We'll see you next week.
Bye bye every Monday.
Goodbye.